Welcomes you to the following presentation of the Southeastern Conference.
All right, Reese, thanks very much. It is an SEC football Saturday here in Fayetteville. Off a 9-win season last year. Off a win against a ranked team on opening day in Cincinnati. They are believing here in Arkansas as we welcome you to college football on ESPN, presented by Marathon. It is the SEC. On ESPN, it's the SEC opener for both Arkansas and South Carolina. Hi again, everyone. Bob Wischusen here with Dan Orlovsky. Chris Budden will join us in just a moment. There's some Sam Pittman energy in this town and in this stadium. That win last week, you could tell, really started to get this fan base excited about this season. Having said that, though, they're equally as excited in Columbia about their new quarterback.
Spencer Rattler, the quarterback that transfers over from OU, can throw it with anybody in America. And that's a bold statement because this quarterback class for college football is loaded. Goes to OU, there's some highs and lows. And Lincoln Riley, his head coach, decides to leave, so he wants to go to a new place with a fresh start. Links up with an old coach of his, Shane Beamer, on the road. Number 16, Arkansas. To beat them, all that talent and hype is going to have to show itself today.
And Chris Budden down on the field. You spoke with Spencer Rattler this week.
He did, and he told me he's at peace with everything that happened at OU. He's grown mentally from that situation. Shane Beamer told me he didn't come in demanding respect. He had to prove it to his teammates. He would go in, they gave him very physical workouts in the weight room. He did it, and he got past it. He earned the respect, so much so that his team voted him a team captain, Bob.
And Dan, what do you think that means to a team when a quarterback could come in and quote-unquote big time them and does the exact opposite as one of the guys the moment he walks through the door?
You prove to your teammates that you don't think you're more important than them. Listen, there's not many things in life that are going to humble you more than being benched as a starting quarterback for a top 5 program like Oklahoma. He's got a fresh start, a new opportunity to show the type of player and person he is in Columbia.
Well, Arkansas won the toss and deferred, so we will see that South Carolina offense to begin. And it will be a touchback to start. Well, Spencer Rattler began coming out of high school with all of the accolades that you would want. The junior quarterback was the #1 dual threat QB in America in our ESPN 300 back in 2019. And in 2020, lived up to the billing, leading the Big 12 in the top statistical categories last season. Losing his job to Caleb Williams led to the transfer. He is now reunited with Shane Beamer, who at one point, of course, was an assistant on that Oklahoma staff. And he's out there with Marshawn Lloyd to his right. Rattler, quarterback keeper on first down, and he picks up about 8 yards. And Dan got off to a good start last week against Georgia State.
Yeah, a really talented player. I mean, when I told you that he could throw it with anybody in America, I mean it. They got to do a much better job of protecting him today. He's got to trust that protection, but I'm excited to watch him play 4 quarters today on the road. Good communication right now. You can see, look to the sideline. Make sure all 10 guys on your offense know exactly what the play call is.
Only a 3-man rush on 2nd down and 2, and wide open Jalen Brooks. He's to midfield. An 18-yard gain.
One of the benefits of looking to the sideline, you know exactly what the coverage is going to be. Front side clears it out with vertical routes. You bring the shallow cross, back across, protection perfect.
Jaheim Bell, who's listed as a tight end, but he is a jack-of-all-trades Swiss Army knife type player. He'll line up in the backfield. He'll line up as an inline tight end, as a slot receiver. They move him everywhere, and he just picked up 6.
Now this program used to have a player like that is somewhat thriving in the NFL, and Deebo Samuel. Now Bell is not that, but they certainly utilize him in that vein. Go. See hand signals, nonverbal communication. Very good job by Rattler controlling everything.
A 5-man rush. It's picked up. Rattler bottled up, and he goes down at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go as the pocket collapsed, and eventually Chris Paul brought him down. It'll be 3rd down.
There's this pressure. Good pocket, climbs up. decides to leave the center of that pocket. The coverage is there on the back end for Arkansas. Nowhere to go with the football. Now you're in a situation, third and 4 offensively. They're somewhat in field goal range.
I think the chains were mismarked on the sideline. And now before this 3rd and 4, the officials trying to get the chain gang organized. Right now they have it marked closer to 3rd down and about 2 as they just adjusted where the chains should be.
That's a big difference. On your call sheet, if you're offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield, there's a big difference between 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 4. 3rd and 2, the run game, much more likely. 3rd and 4, 9 out of 10 times is going to be a passing situation.
Sam Pittman's baffled. He wants the officials to come over and explain why the chains were just moved and why his team just lost 2 yards of down and distance.
There's Marcus Satterfield, the play caller for South Carolina. Admitted to us this week, we got to get less creative with our run game. Trust Spencer to throw the ball 40 times if we have to. Make sure that he's very cognizant of the rush.
There's still confusion with this officiating crew about, I guess, where the chains should have been and where they are now. Sam Pittman still about 3 yards out on the field, still has yet to be given an explanation, and still has that same puzzled look on his face. You can understand why. And now they are moving the chains back to where they should have been to make it 3rd down and 4.
And South Carolina's running Nate Atkins, number 44, off the field as a fullback.
3rd down.
We knew that. We've been aware it's been 3rd down for quite a while. And now we're back to where we should have been in the first place. Empty backfield, 5 wide on 3rd down and 4. And Rattler with a look over again.
Find your man-to-man matchup. One safety in the middle of the field. This is about my guy better than your guy.
Hogs show blitz. They will bring 5. Rattler out of the pocket. Flag down. Gets to the sideline. Fires a bullet. Incomplete. Josh Vann, the intended receiver. Flag thrown in the offensive backfield. It's going to go against South Carolina. And I'm sure Arkansas is going to decline. Make it 4th down and 4 at the 43-yard line. Oh, no. Let's see if Sam Pittman takes the yardage.
Foul, hands to the face on the offense, number 52. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 3rd down.
And that's probably why, Dan, a 15-yard penalty rather than 10, you take the yards.
Yeah, because then you're not going to be nearly as pinned back. But you see the punch by the left tackle, and then there's that hands to the face. A little bit of, I mean, I'll be honest with you, a little bit of back and forth between Nichols and Zach Williams there. I kind of thought like Zach Williams also had his hands underneath Nichols' face mask as well, but that 15-yard penalty now, 3rd and almost 20 yards. You get off the field if you're Arkansas, and you're going to have a much better opportunity to get a punt return. Nothing special here, Spencer Rattler.
Wants the screen. He's got it set up, but it's dropped. Christian Beal-Smith couldn't hold on, and he wasn't going anywhere, even if he had caught the football. His bumper pull was right there.
The penalty hurts the drive. I honestly believe the lack of knowing what it was at 3rd and 2nd or 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 4 by the officiating crew kind of stalls a little bit of the offensive momentum that South Carolina had. Credit Arkansas getting off the field on that 3rd down with their blitz package. But it just felt like their momentum offensively with their tempo stalled them out a little bit.
Kai Kroger. And that is a wobbly shank out of bounds. It's going to give Arkansas terrific field position. The left-footed junior knocked it out of bounds. And here comes KJ Jefferson with great field position.
Tremendous college quarterback. Started off hot last week. You saw him distributing the ball to his tight ends. Down in the red zone, utilized as a runner. He is a big young man, 6'3", 242 pounds. He's lost some weight, so he's a little bit quicker this season. But I love the fact that he's unapologetic. He kind of embraces Sam Pittman as his head coach. He's unapologetic about the player that he is. He understands he's a tremendous athlete and got to have it big-time moments. He trusts his instincts and his feet more than anything.
And he's got Rocket Sanders to his right. How about the field position flip for Arkansas? A 21-yard punt, and Jefferson on a keeper. Lowers his shoulders and gets piled up after a gain of about 2. A moment ago, South Carolina had the ball at the Arkansas 43-yard line.
Yeah.
3rd down and 4. Arkansas starts this drive now at their own 37 after a 15-yard penalty and a 21-yard punt.
That's a great point. They're basically starting where South Carolina had the ball on 3rd down.
Rocket Sanders into the secondary. Very close to a 1st down as we take a look at our impact players. And Raheem Rocket Sanders is one.
Yeah, big boy, 6'2", 227 pounds. He's going to remind a lot of people just running style of Derrick Henry. And then Alex Huntley for South Carolina, freshman All-SEC. He's a tremendous athletic and twitchy guy. They're going to see a lot of tempo runs. He's got to do a really good job of what we call holding the point, not getting pushed back into his linebackers.
That was a run by Rocket Sanders, good enough for a 1st down. Jefferson to throw, pumps and looks downfield, now finds his check down. Plenty of room for Sanders down the sideline. Delivers a pop to the 36-yard line of the Gamecocks. Brad Johnson eventually got him out, but he picks up 17.
How about the development, though, KJ Jefferson, last year to this year? He really goes from 1, 2 to 3 right there, 3 being the check down. Last year, he probably tries to force that ball downfield. The protection by the offensive line allows him to get to his check down.
Straight quarterback keeper, a gain of a yard. Jordan Birch was there first, along with Brad Johnson. You talked about Alex Huntley. Throw in Jordan Birch as well. That 1-2 punch of young players still on that defensive line. Jordan Birch at one point was ESPN's #2 defensive end in America and #4 recruit overall. Only a true junior trying to come into his own.
They think he's just getting started in South Carolina.
Weaving his way off the fake is Jefferson. Picks up 5. So 3rd down and 5 for Arkansas at the South Carolina 31.
You got to like South Carolina defensively right now, just getting bodies to the football, population to the ball when KJ Jefferson has a ball carrier.
3 quarterback keepers on the first 5 snaps. Here's a handoff to Sanders. Good enough, it looks like, for another Arkansas 1st down. This is what they do, right? Even on 3rd down and 5+, the run game is every bit as much a play calling possibility as the pass game.
And the offensive line for them does such a great job of staying shoulder to shoulder and just trying to dent the defense in their zone scheme.
Rocket Sanders again. Tough to get on the ground. All the way down inside the 15-yard line. He broke at least 3 tackles.
Type of runner that he is. Just watch the vision, okay? Watch the patience, vision, and now watch the right arm come in. Just get off me right there, that little chicken wing shove. That's the type of violent kind of runner that he is. Very strong in his lower half, does a really nice job of setting up his blocks, and stays physical through the run.
And Dan, that's one of your impact players, Alex Huntley, down for South Carolina. We'll step aside. A handoff to Sanders. Inside the 10 down to about the 9. And what's the story, Chris, with Boogie Huntley?
As soon as he hit the ground, he was rolling around in pain. He got up. He was not able to put any weight on his right leg, was grabbing at his knees. Currently in the medical tent. As soon as I get any more information, I'll let you guys know.
And they'll need him back in there against this rush attack they'll be facing all day. Now a flag down, though. It looks like this will go against the Hawks.
Number 84 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
You know, Bob, I use this phrase, dent the defense. When it comes to the run game, we often hear it called changing the line of scrimmage. That's really what's going on with Arkansas's offensive unit. Those 5 guys up front, Stromberg, Limmer, Wagner, Latham, Jones, they are denting the defense. I mean, we're snapping this ball here at about the 13-yard line. In their run game, just watch the South Carolina unit get pushed back. Good motion, good change of formation. They're trying to get to the exact leverage and numbers that they want.
It's Trey Knox that trotted over from the left side to the right side. Instead, on a slant left, Jefferson is able to connect. Jaden Hazelwood down to about the 6-yard line. That's the first true forward pass of the day for Jefferson. The only completion earlier was a check down to Sanders. Brings up a big 3rd down just outside the 5. An end around. South Carolina tries to stretch it out, and they do. Hazelwood gets knocked out just inside the 3-yard line. Looks like he's just short of the line to gain.
Yeah, great eye discipline by South Carolina defensively. E-man worry in for R.J. Roderick does an awesome job of staying where he's supposed to be zone-wise and finishing to the ball.
An official on the near side seemed to signal 4th down, but they're going to run the chains across after they respotted the ball just to make sure. And this is now very close.
I mean, either way, if it's 1st down, you got the opportunity to get 4-down territory for Arkansas. If it's 4th down, you're absolutely going for it.
If it's 4th down, it is 4th and inches.
Yep. It looks to be 4th down from the way the chains look right now. Oh my gosh, that's close.
It is indeed 4th and inches. You'd probably categorize this in the category of easy decision.
Yeah, probably
the
the
run
easiest,
team
no
for
doubt.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Sam Pittman sending the field goal unit out? He told us last week he got booed on 4th down and 2 near midfield in the opening game of the season.
And Bob, this is one of the reasons why you feel comfortable. I mean, this is the biggest backfield starting quarterback and starting tailback in college football, 469 pounds. Easy decision for Arkansas offensively. Big-time dominant offensive line. You can hand the ball off, or you can treat KJ Jefferson as another ball carrier himself. And don't forget, last week they were down there and they did the little fake quarterback run pop pass over the top, so it forces the defense now to be really disciplined in their eyes and their responsibilities.
Quarterback sneak, but the whistles blow the play dead as Jefferson snuck the ball forward, granting a timeout from the South Carolina sideline.
Prior to the snap, timeout, South Carolina, they're first.
So we'll step aside as well. 4th down and inches when we return.
ESPN College Football is presented by Marathon. Get the most out of your drive.
Talk about a perfect day to be a Razorback fan or a college football fan in general here in Fayetteville. Terrific atmosphere as we return midway through the 1st quarter. 4th down and about 6 inches inside the 3-yard line for Arkansas. Now, South Carolina got the timeout. It was quarterback sneak before the timeout. Dan, quarterback sneak after the timeout, you think?
100%. Your quarterback is 245 pounds. Keep doing that. I think for South Carolina, the big thing is they're likely going to get this. Arkansas, they need a couple inches, like you said. Don't give up a cheap touchdown because you got eyes in the wrong place. Man coverage, stay on your guy. See if you could cheat the ball, but do not give them a cheap touchdown because you're selling out to stop something on 4th and 2 inches. By the way, that tailgate sausage looked incredible.
Well, they line up on 4th down and a half foot with a push for Jefferson. And it looks like he got it. And he did. So 1st and goal for Arkansas.
Really good job by that unit. Initial kind of punch by South Carolina defensively, and a really good job by KJ Jefferson of kind of turning his body to create some leverage on that lower half. A little help by Rocket Sanders on the push. Huntley jogging around a little bit. Certainly would be a positive thing for South Carolina's defensive front.
Rocket Sanders on 1st and goal. Another push at the goal line. Is he in? It looks like he was turned back inside the 1. It'll be 2nd down and goal. Zach Pickens was able to save a touchdown.
Watch the defender for South Carolina come in just right about now and grab the ankles, grab the legs, try to pull him back. I think that's Devonnie Reed. Really good job of understanding such a big-bodied back. I got to get his legs and yank him and make sure that those don't allow to be driven into the end zone.
Another try for Rocket Sanders. This time he's in. There's a touchdown for Arkansas to open the score.
Really good push by the internal and the right side of that offensive line. Stromberg, Limmer, Wagner. Talked about it a little bit in that drive, just continuing to change the line of scrimmage. Arkansas drives right down the field, couple passes, and then leans on their very physical and dominant run game.
A little wobble on the placement, but Cam Little able to put it through. Rocket Sanders' first touchdown of the season. A 13-play drive. And Arkansas has the lead. SEC opener for both Arkansas and South Carolina. And the Razorbacks strike first. A 13-play drive, and Dan, they did it the way they do it. 11 carries on the 13 plays.
Yeah, dominant offensive line, and I've said it before, they're unapologetic about who they are. Very impressive control in that drive.
So that will come out to the 25-yard line, and the Saturday Night Football Game of the Week presented by Capital One is in Palo Alto. Stanford hosts USC. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC, as well as the ESPN app. Trojans ranked number 10, but these programs have split the last 10 meetings. And Caleb Williams, he's got a new home as well. The two Oklahoma quarterbacks, two different programs.
They looked fun last week, though. Really exciting on offense. Caleb Williams is a guy that, even with the transfer, he's trying to prove to the NFL as well that he is worthy of a first-round pick. Being linked with Lincoln Riley will absolutely help his cause.
Followed his coach out to Hollywood. Spencer Rattler, well protected from the pocket. He's going to take a shot right down the middle of the field. Broke it up, intended for Amari Brown. Jaden Johnson getting the start at safety without Miles Slusher and Jalen Catalon available today. And there's a flag down.
You're going to get that inside post right there. It's the perfect coverage that you want to try to attack. Great protection by the offensive line. You sit the safety. Now sit it right now. Pause. You got to pull this receiver that way across the field if you're Spencer Rattler. Throw it as far as you can to let him go chase it down to that other hash. And try to, instead of trying to hold him up, as talented as a thrower as you can be, let that ball go. Trust that that receiver is going to go chase it down to Marion Brown. That's the perfect play call versus that defense, man. Gotta hit that one on the road. That's what happened last week when Arkansas played Cincinnati, though, Bob. There's shots there, and Cincinnati just did not hit them. South Carolina's got to.
Still a 15-yard game, though, as Cameron Ball was called for a hands-to-the-face personal foul. So 1st and 10 for the Gamecocks at their own 40-yard line. Four-man rush. Again, the pass protection solid. There's a crosser underneath, and nothing there. Drew Sanders wallops Juice Wells as soon as he catches the ball, a gain of 2.
Really awesome job by Sanders. Right, watch this, left side of the screen, bop! Right there. The transfer from Alabama has brought such a positive energy and dominant mindset to this defense. Utilized as a little bit of a blitzer, but really nice job in coverage there.
When we talked to Bumper Poole yesterday, he said about Drew Sanders, he looks like a guy that came from Alabama. He's got that Alabama football look.
They don't say that about you.
Well, they do at the media buffet. Marshawn Lloyd finds a crease. Still on his feet. Lloyd down the sideline. Inside the 20, all the way down to the 15-yard line before he's finally cut down. A gain of 43. Hudson Clark eventually made the tackle.
Watch Lloyd go here. He's going to avoid contact by the defensive end. Landon Jackson slip inside of him to make sure you can get out in the screen. Awesome job, because if he gets shot there by Jackson, he's not going to get out. And then you see the ability to make sure you're breaking tackles downfield. Awesome job by Marshawn Lloyd, avoiding that contact on that screen pass.
Rattler, screen, set up for Lloyd to the 10-yard line. Picked up 4.5. Cameron Ball made the stop.
How about Marcus Satterfield, the play caller for South Carolina? Impressive right now. That's the third or fourth screen we have seen early on in this game. We talked about they got to do a better job in protection. They're getting the ball to Marshawn Lloyd in different screen packages to make sure that they can get that defensive line to be a little bit minimized, but also they're forcing this Arkansas defense to run sideline to sideline. Really smart play calling right now by Marcus Satterfield.
Play clock at 10 on 2nd down and 5 as South Carolina was a little slow getting out of the huddle.
Call timeout.
Play clock down to 2. Let's see if they do. Nope, they get the snap off. Rattler wants the throwback. Stogner makes the catch. At the 10-yard line, tripped up. Great recovery as the wide receiver of the tight end throwback screen was set up, but Isaiah Nichols was able to recover and bring down Stogner for no gain.
Yeah, but credit Dwight McLaughlin, the corner, because if he doesn't stay home, that's a walk-in touchdown. 3rd and 5. These are oftentimes in the red zone. You're anticipating man coverage, and then who's my guy? Who do I think could win on a one-on-one matchup? You're thinking potentially Jaheim Bell or Austin Stogner, the tight end who just caught that screen pass.
Well, Bell will line up this time as an inline tight end set to the right. Juju McDowell in the backfield to the left of Rattler. Blitz coming. McDowell leaks out, bobbles the ball, and it's ripped away. Drew Sanders was there again, and now it's 4th down. Here comes the field goal group.
Bob, look at this play by Drew Sanders. Man coverage. Watch the right side of your screen. Just a blur come through. He's got that back in man coverage. He runs over the top of the picks. And then right there at that ball is trying to get completed to McDowell. Really good job by Rattler getting it out. McDowell getting his hands around, or his head around. But that's just a big-time play by Drew Sanders. 2nd of that drive.
Here's Mitch Jeter from short range, 28 yards away. And that gets South Carolina on the board. Arkansas gets a stop in the red zone, though. They've got the 7-3 lead. 3.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. And again, we send it back to Matt Barrett.
All right, guys, happy Football Saturday, week 2. So much to take in across our networks. Penn State over on ABC. North Carolina, is there going to be drama with them again today on the road? You see Sam Hartman. Welcome back to him. He is back in for Wake Forest. They lead early. In Miami, trying to go 2-0 in the Mario Cristobal era. So much football to take in on this 2nd Saturday of the season.
And here with Dan Orlovsky, I'm Bob Wischusen. Chris Budden down on the field. And Shane Beamer, who just watched his team march all the way down to the 10-yard line. They stall there and have to settle for 3. And they did nothing but throw the football on that drive.
Yeah, I would say this. Drew Sanders stood out on 2 big-time plays, right? That zone drop knocks the receiver off, and then obviously on that 3rd down stop. But you got to feel pretty good if you're South Carolina offensively. The screen game really is going to gather the attention of Arkansas defensively. Seems like Spencer Rattler's settled down a little bit, and you've got the ball into the hands of Marshawn Lloyd a couple times. Feel good if you're South Carolina about that drive and getting points.
That's Harper Cole back deep to receive along with A.J. Green. And this not returnable. Let's take a look at today's road test. And that is brought to you by Goodyear. South Carolina obviously wants to be a much better team away from home than they were at home last season. As you could see, the script completely flipped when they were on the road.
And Bob, Shane Beamer, their head coach, had talked about we've got to do a better job this year, starting today, of having faster starts on the road in those SEC games. He mentioned multiple games last year. They started so slow, no energy, no edge to themselves, and they had to try to claw back in every single game. Looks like some miscommunication. Hazelwood's trying to confirm where alignment's supposed to be.
And instead, it's a straight ahead handoff to Sanders. Cut down after a gain of about 2.5. Down to Chris.
Alex Huntley down here with his helmet on and a knee brace on the right knee. The team has confirmed to me that it's a knee sprain. He was running. Told the trainer that he's good to go, but right now on the sidelines.
Well, we'll see if Boogie Huntley gets back on the field. Sanders again. Boy, look at that pile move. That's just the offensive line for these Hogs changing the line of scrimmage. And a big 227-pound running back getting in behind them.
Yeah, see the push? I mean, they're 2 or 3 yards down the field, and this is a good defensive line for South Carolina.
On second down and short, Jefferson, quarterback sneak and then some. It's an easy first down.
You know, it's interesting. This offense, they play with tempo. And so a big thing for this offensive line is communication. Who do we have in our zone scheme, right? We're always stepping to a certain area or place. But that's hard when you're playing so fast. It's important for them to communicate, get their spots, and just make sure they're going to the right location.
Nowhere to go this time for Rocket Sanders. Forced back inside by Jordan Strawn. And he was there to help on the stop. That's a loss of 3. Cam Smith came up to help bring him down as well. That's a big offensive line. And their bread and butter certainly running the football, but now behind the chains. Jefferson to the sideline. Little turnaround catch made by Warren Thompson. 3rd down and 3, a gain of 10.
Yeah, a little ball fake to make sure that that secondary just steps down towards the line of scrimmage. You create that one-on-one for Thompson. Ball comes out on time in the right spot for KJ Jefferson. Now you're back to where run game is an option for you.
Still no Huntley on the sideline. Slipped out to the flat. Hazelwood brought down near midfield. Let's see if they give him the first down line to gain, and they do without measurement. They say he reached the ball out, and it is a first down for Arkansas.
You see that little motion that they did with Hazelwood, though? He catches that ball right into the flat. That left arm keeps him up. It looks like just maybe a half ball short. They're going to give it to him. Really good design.
Pump fake by Jefferson. The FSU transfer, Warren Thompson again. And he is lassoed out of bounds. Thrown down by Mo Kaba. Under a minute to go in the opening quarter.
Bob, the challenge for South Carolina defensively in this situation, tempo, and they're getting worn down in the run game, is just a discipline with your eyes to continue to make sure they're putting them in the right spot and you're reading your keys.
Breaking a tackle is Sanders. To the 34-yard line of South Carolina. That's a first down. Amen Worry brought him down.
Look at the patience, Bob. Set, and then that left leg allows him to wrap it around. That's one of the things this offensive line talks about. He does such a good job of setting up the blocks. Perfect example there.
Tunnel screen. Hazelwood. Close to 5 more. About 4. Jordan Birch out on the edge. Made the tackle. Let's see if Arkansas snaps it again before the end of the quarter. They are getting set to run tempo. 8 seconds to go. Certainly have time to get another play off. And they do. Jefferson back to throw. Up in the pocket. Floats one to the sideline. Wide open Landers. It'll be a first down in the red zone to start the second quarter for the Hogs. 16 more for Matt Landers. Arkansas on the move. They've got a 7-3 lead over South Carolina. A perfect day for football here at Razorback Stadium, and the hometown crowd saw a Rocket Sanders touchdown in the first quarter. Welcome back to the SEC on ESPN. This is ESPN College Football presented by Marathon. Just about set for the start of the second quarter. And the Razorbacks on another march. They've got a first down in the red zone. Spencer Rattler right now being kept on the sideline by KJ Jefferson. A 13-play touchdown drive got Arkansas on the board, and this is the 11th play of a march that takes us to the second quarter. A bullet to the sideline. Getting wrapped up is Matt Landers. And thrown down by Cam Smith. Cam Smith is a heck of a football player.
Really good player, All-American candidate. He's a phenomenal playmaker on the perimeter for them. He's got really good change of direction, good speed. Likely going to be a first-round pick in the NFL draft. He can play inside, he can play outside.
On second down, it is Sanders with speed. Cruises into the end zone untouched. Hard to lose track of Rocket Sanders, but it seemed like the Gamecocks did. An easy Arkansas touchdown. His second. It's a 14-3 Arkansas lead.
The threat of a running quarterback has such tremendous impact on a defense. I want everyone to pay attention, okay? So as this offensive lineman steps down and the ball comes this way, watch both of these defenders for South Carolina. Step down. Now look it. Both of these guys get left inside. The ball for Spencer Sanders gets driven outside because they're just hanging on KJ Jefferson's potential to run. The tackle steps down, the defensive end squeezes. They pay attention to KJ for one step. Sanders is fast enough to get the ball out on the perimeter, and it's a walk-in touchdown. That's really a perfect example of how, when you have a quarterback that can run, it just forces, and I mentioned it, it forces everybody's eyes to be so perfect all the time. If you're wrong one step, you lose.
Well, last season, 4 different players cracked 500 yards rushing on the season for Arkansas. That's the first time a team has done that since 1975. And KJ Jefferson, the quarterback, was their leading rusher.
Yeah, and they do a great job of utilizing him really in situations too. He's much more of a red zone and scramble runner than a designed, hey, first down at the 40-yard line, we're going to give it to you. But he's really good with his decision-making in the run game as well.
Let's head back to Matt once again.
All right, Bob, got a developing story in Texas, Alabama. The Longhorns have done a great job moving the ball on Alabama early, but watch here. Quinn Ewers forced out of the pocket. Dallas Turner flagged for roughing the passer. Here's the story. Ewers out of the game with an apparent elbow injury. We'll keep you posted. Hudson Card now in at quarterback for the Longhorns.
3-touchdown underdog to Alabama, and you lose your quarterback.
Tremendous talent too,
that is
right?
Tough, yes.
But their backup, Hudson Card's played a bunch of football for them, certainly under Steve Sarkisian as well. So you got to feel good that he's at least got experience.
Jaheim Bell tries to turn the corner. Strung out nicely by that Arkansas defense, and again, look who's on the spot to make the tackle. It's Drew Sanders. A loss of 2.
Just watch the flow of the defense. Look at everybody. Keep leverage. Outside shoulder. Outside shoulder. Awesome job by everyone. There's 42 to finish it off. Really good job by Jaden Johnson defensively, who's stepping in a little bit for Slusher and Catalon being out. But that's the exact example. You used the phrase, Bob. String it out. Keep that outside arm free and allow the guys from the inside, the bad people, run to the football.
Rattler off play action on second down. Rolls out. He'll be sacked. What a first half for Drew Sanders.
What a big-time play by 42. Watch him here and the burst that he has to the football. It's a little bit of sprint out. Look at the patience, step now, go. See the speed that he collapses through. Nowhere to go with the football for Spencer Rattler. Man, he has become a big-time football player, 6'5", 230 pounds. Utilized as a pressure guy last week, and he has totally changed this Arkansas defense.
The Alabama transfer with his second Arkansas sack. Third down and a mile. Dropped by Marshawn Lloyd. And Arkansas with a 14-3 lead might get excellent field position as South Carolina will be punting from deep in their own end.
But I would say this, man, with the transfer with Drew Sanders and the player he's looked like in the first 2 games, we're having a conversation that Arkansas could have one of the best linebacker duos in all of college football. Bumper Poole, who's played thousands of snaps at this program, and then Drew Sanders, who's come in and just brought some athleticism. 3 starts last year at Alabama, big-time player.
Bryce Stevens, returnable from the 42, gets to midfield. Great field position for Arkansas, depending on the penalty marker that was just thrown. He was brought down to the plus 42 after a 43-yard punt, but have to check the marker. Even if this goes against Arkansas, it will still be excellent field position.
I think it's gonna. I think you're in the middle of blocking. You're gonna get a little bit of a face mask pull. Come on, guys.
During the return, personal foul, face mask, number 4 on the receiving team. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
So that will cost Arkansas 15, but they've got the football and a 14-3 lead. The 2 head coaches in this game today, Shane Beamer and Sam Pittman, crossed paths as part of their coaching histories on Kirby Smart's staff in the 16-17 seasons. As Shane Beamer was the tight end and special teams coach for Kirby Smart at Georgia, and Coach Pittman coached the offensive line, to the point that Sam Pittman, for his special teams coach, hired Scott Fountain, who at one point was the analyst for Shane Beamer when he was the special teams coach. So want a little of that Beamer DNA in his special teams rooms as well. And why not? Good field position, and Malik Hornsby, the backup quarterback, but again, a very versatile player and a guy who might have receiver in his future as well for Arkansas, is able to pick up close to 8.
Highly athletic player. Same play they just scored the touchdown on.
Little counter inside, toss to Hornsby. Speed to the edge. He's got a first down to the 45-yard line of South Carolina.
There's that counter little toss-up. We're seeing Arkansas now start to attack the edges of this South Carolina defense, giving them a lot to look at.
A.J. Green. A gain of 3. And that tempo continues for Arkansas. Talked to the right tackle, Dalton Wagner, yesterday about playing with tempo. You asked him, do you like it? He said, I've got a love-hate relationship with it.
Yeah, he loves it because it tires out a defense, but then he looked at it and said, we're pretty tired too. And then he said he hates it because how tired they become, and sometimes it doesn't give them the opportunity to communicate, hey, where are we going? But I asked him, okay, all that being said, what do you do? He said, I just got to make sure I'm going to the right spot with everybody. And then if there's a body in my cylinder, meaning my frame, shoulder to shoulder, I hit it.
Shovel pass. Up the middle, Trey Knox. And he gets spun down a couple of yards shy of the first down. Third down, about 1.5 yards. K.J. Jefferson, quarterback sneak, gets a push. And he is right at the first down line to gain. It looks like he might be just short. So now it's 4th down and 1/2 yard, it appears, for Arkansas.
Yeah, it looks just short. Nice stuff by, I think it's Huntley right in the middle there.
And it is good to have Alex Huntley, I'm sure, back on that defensive line for South Carolina.
I think you feel pretty darn comfortable if you're going to go under center, going quarterback sneak. The thing that K.J. Jefferson just got to be aware of, if there's a guy over the center's head and no one over either guard, just drift to one side and you can easily pick up that first down.
Play clock down to 5. There is the quarterback sneak and the push. And it looks to be good enough for an Arkansas first down again. It is.
There's that push. Rocket Sanders from the back again. KJ Jefferson doing an awesome job of just keeping his legs driving. He gets it by about 6 inches.
Play clock winding down once again. Play action for Jefferson. Steps up, sandwiched, escapes a sack, floats one down the sideline into double coverage, and it's out of bounds. It was intercepted by Darius Rush, but his momentum carried him out of bounds. That's the first incompletion for Jefferson. Rush is hurt. We've got another Gamecock hurt back in the offensive backfield, and we're wondering how KJ Jefferson avoided this sack.
We're going to get pressure off the right side. Kaba's going to kind of trigger pressure. His guy blocks. He can go after the quarterback. Got to get him down. They talked about that. When we get to him, we have to get him down. He tries to take his shot downfield. I think Rush might come down in bounds if not for that collision.
Rush is down. Kaba is down. A couple of big injuries for that South Carolina defense. Coming up, Week 1, Sunday NFL Countdown tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, a one-on-one with Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott, and a look at Devontae Adams' offseason before his Raiders debut. And then Monday Night Football will start season 53 with Russell Wilson making his Broncos debut in Seattle against his old teammates. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, followed by the game at 8 on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus. And we always said it's a pretty good chance if there was a team that was a quarterback away, it might be the Broncos. Now they've got their quarterback and they've got him long term.
Really good perimeter players, good running backs, really dominant defense. Patrick Surtain Jr. is becoming a legit lockdown corner. They're my pick to win that absolute loaded division with the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Chiefs in it.
After that injury timeout, 2nd down and 10. Jefferson threw it behind his receiver, but a nice job to reach back and make the catch by Matt Landers, and that's good for a 1st down, a gain of 12.
Landers is a good story, man. Started at Georgia, couldn't really get on the field much, 6'5" frame, transfers to Toledo, now here. They think, like, because of the maturity, big opportunity for him to prove he's an NFL player.
A.J. Green inside the 15-yard line, carrying tacklers down inside the 10 to the 8. Jordan Birch went for a piggyback ride, a gain of 14.
Really good patience by Green. First hole's not there, bounces it outside. Hazelwood blocking downfield, takes all 11 in this Arkansas run game.
Again, no Mo Kaba, no Darius Rush on the field right now for South Carolina. Green inside the 5-yard line, getting a push, won't go down. Forward progress to the 4. Mo Kaba went in the injury tent for South Carolina, and Darius Rush, it looked like they were worried about a possible head injury when his head snapped to the turf on that potential interception inside the 5-yard line.
Down here, this is where you really got to pay attention to KJ Jefferson as a runner.
He'll give it to the freshman, Rashad DeBinion. Ankle tackle inside the 2-yard line. Sherrod Green in there for Kaba, made the stop. 3rd down and goal.
Third drive today, Bob, that's gone over 5 minutes for this offense. Just wearing down this South Carolina perimeter.
Malik Hornsby lines up as the tailback in the offset eye. Under center is Jefferson on 3rd down. Counter handoff, up the middle goes the freshman DeBinion into the end zone for his first Arkansas touchdown. The kind of drives that demoralize a defense, Dan. 13 plays, 12 plays, 12 plays. All 3 Arkansas drives for touchdowns.
Watch the big fellas collapse the line of scrimmage right there, and then the flow of the defense. That's an awesome job by Limmer and Wagner. This Arkansas run game comes at you from every angle, denting the defense. 21-3 at home. Razorbacks.
Welcome back to Fayetteville. After South Carolina's last possession, Marshawn Lloyd came off the field furious that they've abandoned the run game. Only 4 yards. Spencer Rattler heard it, went to go talk to his coaches, message received, went up to Lloyd and said, we're going to get back to running the football on this drive.
Well, Dan, they need to, if for nothing, no other reason than to give their defense a rest after 3 double-digit play touchdown drives. Leggett on the kickoff return. He is out to the 30-yard line. Back to Matt.
Things to keep you updated on. Southern Miss is beating Miami 7-3 over on ACC Network. Hurricanes haven't been able to do anything. Penn State, as expected, having their way with Ohio. Kansas State, Missouri over on ESPN2. And Vanderbilt, Wake Forest. Sam Hartman looks good early. They're up 21-10 on SEC Network.
All right, Matt. 21-3. The hold dug by South Carolina. And to Chris's point, they will start off this drive with Marshawn Lloyd carrying for a couple. Latavius Brini came up to make the stop.
I think that's the first carry by an actual tailback as well for South Carolina. I mean, they should run this to the field. Down to the bottom of our screen, we're looking at Bumper Pool, big-time linebacker. They've got some leverage if they want to run the ball towards this way offensively.
Instead, Rattler to throw. One-on-one down the sideline. Overthrows his receiver, Josh Vann.
That's the challenge, though. You're running on first down, and then you're just taking a one-on-one man shot into the boundary on 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9. And if you don't hit it, here you're in a long third down situation with an offensive line that struggled to protect last week against a pass rush that has the opportunity to play really good coverage and use those linebackers in Bumper Pool and Drew Sanders as pressure guys. Here's Sanders right here. There's Bumper Pool. And here's Sanders as a stand-up linebacker, potential pressure man.
And the pressure, get home on 3rd and 8 with a protection hold up. Play clock got down to 0. They barely got it off. There's a shot up the seam. Incomplete, flag out. Exactly what South Carolina needed. Amari Brown ripped down by Dwight McLaughlin. This will be pass interference.
That's the right call.
Pass interference on the defense, number 3. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
It's really like a little bit of an inside post. He wins off the line of scrimmage. McLaughlin's got outside leverage, and watch that wrap right there. Now, we can sit here and say it's not a highly catchable ball because it's thrown on a line and high, but you can see that right arm from McLaughlin coming and wrap around. That's an obvious call for the for the officials.
Juju McDowell thrown down by Bumper Pool, but still picked up close to 7.
You know, if Arkansas is going to play this 3-man front, which is what they really have been notorious for under Barry Odom, a little bit 4-man front last week, if they're going to do that, you should run the football at it.
McDowell again. First down and then some. Tackled by Drew Sanders, but not before picking up 14 more yards for South Carolina.
But Barry Odom loves these 3-man fronts because of the multiplicity of off-the-ball stuff right there in the middle. Last week they played a little 4-down versus Cincinnati. If South Carolina's going to get this, be disciplined in your run game.
Rattler straight back to throw. Room to run. There he goes. To the sideline. A little dead leg. Takes a hit. Out of bounds at the 25-yard line of Arkansas. Simeon Blair, the former walk-on, came over to make the stop. Gain of 8.
Run the football. Allow some double teams for your offensive line.
Marshawn Lloyd, short of the first down. Driven back inside the 25-yard line after a gain of 1. So 3rd down and a yard and a half. 5.5 minutes to go before halftime. And Dan, this feels like a drive where the game almost hangs in the balance for South Carolina. If they could put 7 on the board and get to the locker room at halftime down by 11, it changes the complexion of this game in a big way.
Totally, and I'd even go as far to say that this is a 4-down territory situation. I'd love to see Spencer Rattler on the move here. A little bit of a ball fake, bootleg, try to see if you can get Arkansas to overcommit.
Hand off to Jaheim Bell. Spins, dragged back. It looks like he might be short. Bumper pull, grabbed him around the waist and pulled him back before he got to the line to gain. So it will be 4th down and short. And this is an immediate call from Shane Beamer. They're going for it. Marshawn Lloyd, the lone setback. Straight ahead handoff. He's got it.
Watch the pull from that backside guard. Lee and just kind of gets up into that hole, and I love the fact that Lloyd just followed that big fella. No dancing, understand the situation, just needed to get 1 yard. Now I see Arkansas now as a 4-man front. So now I can understand a little bit of the RPO game if you want to put Drew Sanders in a little bit of a bind.
False start, 79 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
So maybe a crowd noise, 5 yards caused there. Big change in the main event for UFC 279 tonight in Vegas. Hamzat Chimaev missed weight. Tony Ferguson will take on fan favorite Nate Diaz. Chimaev now takes on Kevin Holland in the co-main. The main card begins at 10 Eastern. Pay-per-view with the prelims on ESPN News at 8 Eastern tonight. 1st and 5. 4-man rush. Rattler with some time, flag down. He goes up the middle, pays the price, picks up 3. Cameron Ball made the tackle, but this might be coming back.
I think you're going to get hands to the face on Arkansas defensively.
Well, that would be a big call for South Carolina.
Personal foul, hands to the face on the defense, number 40. Half the distance will be added to the end of the run. 1st down.
That's Landon Jackson that gets called for the personal foul.
Yeah, right here. Remember, Bob, we had one of these early in the game, and it looked like they both were kind of doing it. See, but here's my thing. He's got the jersey grab right there, and that's what making the head move back. I don't think that's a flag then, right? Because he's got the jersey grab and his hands are not inside the helmet?
It's not hands to the face,
right,
unless your hands hit the guy's face.
Wow, they pay you the big bucks for that, champ.
I dive deep into the rule book. That penalty benefits the Gamecocks, though, puts them in the red zone with a 1st down. Marshawn Lloyd gets to the edge. Out of bounds inside the 10. They'll mark him out at the 7. He picks up 4.
Yeah, this is exactly what South Carolina needed. Just a long drive. Marshawn Lloyd was a little bit right, committing to run the football. Look at that.
And the run game has been a big part of why they've been able to move the ball on this drive. We have an Arkansas injury. This could be a big one. Latavius Brini is down, the Georgia transfer. playing today at safety in place of the already injured Jalen Catalan. So we'll step aside for just a moment. On that, our game here has a chance to become a lot more intriguing if South Carolina can get the ball in the end zone. Dan, their first 3 possessions, 13 total plays from scrimmage. They're about to run the 11th play on this drive alone, and they've got it 2nd down and 5 at the 7-yard line.
Yeah, the big 3rd down pass interference call against Arkansas really kind of spurred this offense. I'd love to see getting 18 at Austin Stogner an opportunity here out of this bunch set.
Instead, it's Lloyd breaking free and into the end zone for a much-needed Gamecocks touchdown. Well, it was Marshawn Lloyd, a furious rant on the sideline that Chris Button told us about, saying we have to run the football. They came out on that drive, got the tailbacks involved, and for the first time ran the football. And it ends up resulting in 6, possibly 7. And a wobbly snap, a messy placement, and a point left on the field by South Carolina.
That bad snap kind of made him hesitate as a kicker, I would imagine. Look how good this is, offensive line. Okay, so we're going to collapse that side. Now watch, we're going to pull, and there comes Stogner as the lead through. Awesome job. Collapse, collapse. Now look at this. Watch Stogner find his way through this hole to make sure he can secure that block. Awesome job as the tight end gets through there. Lloyd, the patience with the push. How about that view right there? Stogner. That collapse by the right side, the double pullers from the backside. Lloyd with the patience, the big tight end knowing exactly he can climb up to the 2nd level. That's exactly what South Carolina and Shane Beamer needed, a really ball control offensive drive that gets into the end zone.
But for Shane Beamer and a team that prides themselves on their special teams, they leave a point on the field. They had a surprise onside kick in the first half last week against Georgia State. Always have to have your antennas up when a Beamer's coaching a team, what might happen on special teams, but this one will sail deep. So let's take a look at our SEC Conference Spotlight, brought to you by T-Mobile. A 14-1 combined record. And LSU scratching their heads, wondering how they were the only loss with the way that that game ended the other night.
Shout out to Swagoo, Marcus Spears and Ryan Clark. My 2 LSU buddies had a tough Saturday night. Was it Sunday night with that missed extra point? Still not bad to go 14-1.
Now, how important is this series for the South Carolina defense to get a stop before halftime and make the touchdown stand up? A draw play to Sanders. Right back to the ground and right back to picking up a first down with the rush attack for Arkansas as we go down to Chris.
Bob, in South Carolina without one of their best defensive playmakers. Cam Smith walked off into the locker room. He did not have his helmet, had a towel over his head, struggled to even walk.
And here's Jefferson taking a shot down the sideline, one-on-one, flagging. Landers the intended receiver. He was hand-checked. And this will be pass interference. O'Donnell Fortune was back in coverage. Remember, Darius Rush was lost for a brief period of time earlier as well.
Pass interference on the defense, number 25. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
So Rush is back in the game. O'Donnell Fortune, though, there. One-on-one with Landers, called for pass interference.
Yeah, and he's got good position, I would imagine. Landers does a good job of fighting back inside, but to Chris's report, Cam Smith not being in there forces another player, a backup, to have to get on the field and play on the perimeter. Nice job by KJ Jefferson and Landers taking their shot.
Quarterback keeper, Jefferson. Popped at the 40-yard line, but he's got 9 yards. All the way back to 2012, the last time Arkansas scored a touchdown on their first 3 drives. And they're in business again. Possession number 4 here in the first half with 2 minutes to go before halftime. Jefferson, quarterback draw. First down. Still on his feet. Tough to bring down. Flag down. He's still up. Getting a push. Finally, the play blown dead at the 28-yard line of South Carolina. If it stands, it's a gain of 11, and he earned it.
What a big-time runner. I think they might get a shot by South Carolina defensively here.
Personal foul, targeting number 25 on the defense. The previous play is under further review.
With Cam Smith already in the locker room being looked at, O'Donnell Fortune might be lost. Now again, Jefferson is a runner, so by definition, not a defenseless player. So the only way that this can be targeting is if you rule that crown of the helmet. And it certainly looked like O'Donnell Fortune came in with his head down, although that looks like more side of the helmet than crown.
And it looks like, I mean, to me, it looks like he's making the effort to try and turn and kind of get that shoulder in rather than that crown of the helmet being down to KJ Jefferson. I don't know, man. Since the fact that he's not defenseless, Bob, I mean, he's a 6'3", 240-pound guy you're trying to tackle as well.
Man, I can see why. Just at full speed, an official might throw his flag and say, I think that's targeting, let's take a look. But KJ Jefferson, not defenseless. He's a runner there, obviously. And so I would think that this probably would be picked up.
I don't think that is targeting by the definition. I don't believe that is leading with the crown of the helmet tackle. What an incredible, impressive run.
After further review, there was no foul for targeting on the play. Result of the play was a first down.
So it does end up being just an 11-yard hard-working carry for KJ Jefferson. O'Donnell Fortune stays in the game. That's the right call. 1:53 to go before halftime.
But also a little bit of an example of, I mean, that is a quarterback running like that, and you've got 3 or 4 guys on defense throwing their bodies at him to try to get him down and unable to.
Jet sweep. Landers. Flag down again. Breaking tackles. Reversing field. Gets a block. They're trying to set up a picket fence for him. He ran a long way and ended up picking about 6 yards up or so. KJ Jefferson helped him on the backside with a block, but again, a flag thrown in the offensive backfield.
Holding, number 62 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. 3-play first down.
So Brady Latham, the left guard, costs Arkansas 10.
I mean, if you're Arkansas, you have 1:30 left on the clock. You have 3 timeouts. You're in absolutely no rush here versus the clock. You want to make sure that South Carolina does not get the ball back at all. And you're trying to do everything you can to do that while also finishing this drive off with the touchdown. So anything that you want playbook-wise is absolutely on the table for Kendall Bry as their offensive coordinator. It's really this safety. If you want a one-on-one throw up top, if that safety comes down, you could take your shot up top.
It's a 4-man rush. Jefferson hit. And finally, they're able to get him down. That's a big sack, and you would think maybe South Carolina would now call a timeout. Jordan Strawn made the tackle, and it looks like the Gamecocks will use their second timeout. That's the kind of negative play that gives you a chance to get the ball back before halftime if you're South Carolina. We have a packed lineup for you through Monday. Later this afternoon here on ESPN, the U.S. Open Women's Final. Iga Swiatek and Ons Jabeur will meet, and then Saturday Night Football, ABC. We'll have USC taking on Stanford. Tomorrow afternoon, the U.S. Open Men's Final. Spain's Carlos Alcaraz and Norway's Casper Ruud on ESPN at 4. And then, of course, our first Monday Night Football game of the season, Broncos-Seahawks on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, ESPN Plus. Peyton and Eli are on ESPN2. Just got a jam-packed weekend all the way through Monday Night Football coming your way.
A couple pronunciations thrown at you right there. All done.
I do hockey.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point.
Good practice.
I'm honestly impressed you can read.
1:23 to go before halftime. And let's see how Kendall Briles now handles with one timeout still to be used by South Carolina these next couple of plays. Jefferson to throw, and it's a sack once again. Heaves one to the sideline. Coming back to scoop it up is Matt Landers. How did Jefferson get away? Jordan Strawn can't believe it. It's a gain of 14.
I mean, this is incredible. Watch the strength by KJ Jefferson to get away, and then as he's stumbling, get this ball off, arm strong enough, awesome awareness by Landers to almost pick that one up off the carpet. But that's the second play this week, this drive that we have just seen physically how difficult he is to get down to the ground.
Now, in spite of that gain, it still sets up 3rd down and 14. And that still good enough as far as Shane Beamer is concerned to call another timeout. But for the first time in this game, he is counting on his defense on 3rd down to get Arkansas off the field.
Well, if you're Shane Beamer defensively, you're feeling really good about your pass rush right now. That's what's kind of shown up this drive, certainly in the last 2 plays. And if you're Kendall Briles and the play caller for Arkansas, you got to be a little bit aware of that. You know, you've got 1 minute and 2 seconds left on the clock. You're somewhat in field goal range, so you don't want to be overly aggressive to try to go get this first down given what your protection has looked like. But also you're trying to go make sure that if you get 5 or 6 yards, you still have the opportunity to kick the field goal, and South Carolina cannot stop the clock as they are out of timeout. So make sure KJ Jefferson has the opportunity. If it's there to get the chunk and first down throw, if not, you get your legs or get out of your hands and go pick up some positive yards.
Jefferson on the move. Tried to fit one into a tight window, and it was broken up. Darius Rush gets the pass defensed on Warren Thompson, and that saves South Carolina a chunk of time as well. The clock stops with 56 seconds to go before halftime, and that will bring Cam Little out for a long field goal attempt. His career long last season against Mississippi State, 51. This one will be 50 even. And he'll miss it wide right. So with 50 seconds to go, no timeouts, but now some field position for South Carolina. They've got a chance to draw closer before halftime.
Kind of shows up the penalty. Ends up being a huge detriment for Arkansas's offense, right? Couldn't get themselves out of that 2nd and 3rd and long. The pass breakup at the end of that drive by Rush pays off huge, and the missed field goal now gives at least Spencer Rattler in this offense a chance. First down here, make sure, get the ball out of your hands. No little completion that's going to be short of the first down. Right now, you're trying to get a chunk if you are South Carolina offensively with no timeouts. No completion that's going to be 4 or 5 yards.
3-man rush. Rattler fires one up the seam, and he's got a diving catch for Amarian Brown. It's a first down to midfield. It'll stop the clock for the moment. Gain of 18. Plenty of time to get in field goal range, at least for the Gamecocks. Rattler out of the pocket. Room to run. Instead, he'll heave one downfield. Looking for Brown. End zone. He had a step, and Rattler sails it over his head.
Bob, I actually like that decision by Rattler. Good job protection-wise. He escapes the pocket. Naturally, I'm going run, but if he runs, he's going to get 7 or 8 yards, and the clock is going to stay moving. Take your shot down the field. Would love, if you're a South Carolina fan, for him to hit that throw, but the awareness that that throw was worth it more than getting 7 or 8 yards on that scramble. Good play by Spencer Rattler.
Again, a 3-man rush, so time for Rattler. Checks it down to Lloyd. Lloyd trying to get to the sideline, tackled in bounds. No timeouts for South Carolina. 17 seconds to go.
Now you got to try to get the first down and immediately spike the ball. You can't, it's 4th.
Rattler has the first down, gets out of bounds. Only 4 seconds to go in the half, though. So do you try the field goal from here? I would think you probably have to. Or is it just a Big Ben play in the end zone?
Seeing that it's 4, this all depends on if you like your kicker. You think he can go hit something 55-plus yards. If not, it's a Hail Mary attempt.
And Mitch Jeter's career-long 53. And from here, you're looking at about 57, maybe 58 yards. So they're going to let Rattler throw one in the end zone.
That's why that tackle in bounds was such a big deal on that check down. Clock stayed running.
Four Arkansas defenders all the way down at the 5-yard line. Rattler to the sideline, hit. The ball comes out wobbly, and that'll end the half. So South Carolina did get a touchdown, lost a play on special teams on a messy extra point, but they will start on defense in the second half. 21-9, our halftime score. Let's head back to Matt Barry. Halftime report. Welcome back to ESPN College Football presented by Marathon. And welcome back to the SEC on ESPN. Just about set for the start of the second half. It's a 21-9 lead for Arkansas over South Carolina. The SEC opener for both of these teams as we check out our first half stats brought to you by Yeti. And the Razorbacks very efficient on the ground, 127 yards rushing, scoring touchdowns on their first 3 possessions, all double-digit drives, dominating the line of scrimmage. It's a big touchdown for South Carolina in the last few moments of the first half, though, to get back in the game. Bob Wischusen here with Dan Orlovsky. Chris Budden is with us as well. And Dan, this is a line of scrimmage football game so far.
Arkansas really, for the most part, has controlled both sides of it. Their offensive line has been absolutely dominant, and they've allowed their quarterback to play relatively stress-free football.
And this will be a touchback to start the second half. So is the rest of this game that simple? Can South Carolina run it? Can they stop the run? Because if Arkansas continues to own the line of scrimmage as they have, it's hard to see how, unless they have self-inflicted wounds, they lose this game.
Yeah, Arkansas was dominant in the first half. They're scoring on their first 3 drives, and they really did whatever they wanted. And I mentioned it, stress-free for KJ Jefferson right now. So unless South Carolina can figure out a way to make them uncomfortable and force them into a passing or obvious passing situation offensively, they don't have much of a chance. And then South Carolina offensively did get some stuff going, running a little bit of a counter run game, pulling people. I think they got to lean into that and see if they can control the football a little bit on their own.
Sanders on first down. Begins with about a 3-yard gain. And Chris Budden caught up with Shane Beamer just before halftime.
Coach, you guys started to move the ball a lot better those last couple of possessions. What do you need out of your offense in the second half?
Just to continue to be more consistent. You know, we stopped ourselves a couple times, had the opportunity to make some plays downfield and didn't. It's good to see us there those last couple drives. Should have gotten points on that 2-minute drive. We weren't very smart with a couple things, but like the way we're playing, we've talked all week. get this thing to the fourth quarter, and we got a chance to try and do that now.
A banged-up defense. What do you need out of that group in order to contain KJ Jefferson?
Yeah, it's concerning right now. I mean, we were already down one starter going into the game. We're down two more right now. We got depth, but we all got to step up. And you know, it's not about one person. It's about all 11. Those all 11 guys got to elevate their games, and we got to continue to do a great job of helping them coaching-wise.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
There's Rocket Sanders for three, but to the point that Chris Button asked Shane Beamer about, Dan, right on cue. 3rd down and 5. Quarterback run. KJ Jefferson keeps the drive alive.
Yeah, just great feel, just great instincts by him to understand. He saw the linebackers leave in 3rd and 5. That's actually a pretty good situation for South Carolina defensively, and KJ just too good of a football player, and he goes and gets that 1st down.
Sanders finds a cutback lane. 9 more yards on the ground on 1st down. Zach Pickens made the stop. They're going to give him 10 and a 1st down.
Nice job by Sanders here. Watch just the push. We talked about that from the offensive line. He doesn't get touched till about 7 or 8 yards downfield. Jefferson out of the pocket. Tripped up from behind and down he goes. That's a huge sack. Jordan Birch. A loss of 4. There have not been many negative plays caused by this Gamecocks defense. That's a big one. Really good job by Birch. I actually think that left tackle, Jones, is going to get clipped by the back right there, Sanders, and that's what allows Birch to kind of get on that edge. That back comes through, clips the heel, but a great job of finally this is what we talked about though, right? Getting them into these obvious passing situations where they don't get to dictate to you what they want. They'll still run it with A.J. Green. And he gets back to the original line of scrimmage. So now it will be 3rd down and 10. Sherrod Green, who came on after Mo Kaba went out with a 1st half injury, made the tackle. I really believe it's paramount for South Carolina defensively on their defensive line. Those guys can't just get behind the quarterback in their rush. Make sure you stay in front and don't give him any lane to run through.
Sideline warning. It's South Carolina's bench. They're first.
A little over-enthusiastic about the sack, and then the stop on A.J. Green from the South Carolina sideline. 3rd down and a long 10, close to 11. Arkansas is 5 for 8 on 3rd down. 2 transfers. There's one Hazelwood in the slot right there. They're showing blitz. Jefferson reacts. Changes the formation. Middle field wide open. Here comes the all-out blitz. Jefferson heaves it right up the middle of the field. Actually floats it to the sideline to Landers, and he dropped it. Oh, they got exactly what they wanted. Landers wide open down the sideline. Jefferson beat the blitz, but they couldn't convert. Bob, it's the perfect play call. All-out pressure. Landers, they flipped him, and they throw the ball deep, and he just doesn't bring it down with his eyes. It's the exact perfect call. It's a great throw by KJ Jefferson, and Landers, who we've talked about a little bit this afternoon, who's had really nice game, just doesn't see that one into his hands. You can see KJ Jefferson, no missed opportunity for that offense. So the first punt with Josh Vann back deep to receive for South Carolina. Stein angles one. Vann, a fair catch at the 12-yard line. 40-yard punt. So South Carolina dodges one. They sent an all-out blitz after KJ Jefferson. This close to a walk-in touchdown, and it dropped. The Taco Bell Live Más Student Section of the Year contest is back. To celebrate, Taco Bell will be providing rewards to students all season long. And this student section line outside the stadium was piled up at about 7 o'clock this morning. They were ready to come in and cheer on their Hogs. And the student section is bearing down on Spencer Rattler in South Carolina as they start this drive at their own 12. The worst starting field position of any drive for either team so far. Three-man rush. Rattler, he wants the deep shot. Middle of the field. Just out of the reach of Amarian Brown. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
It's that same shot they had in the first half to the same player. And they just missed it in the first half, PBU, and this time Rattler bleeds Brown to the opposite hash, is where he's supposed to, and it's just one step thrown too far. That's the 3rd time, though, Bob, that South Carolina's got an opportunity to hit a huge play, and Spencer Rattler and his receivers have missed it.
Slant, there's Stogner. Pitch and catch 1st down with only a 3-man rush again. 17 yards.
Yeah, really good job. Watch the left side of the screen. Stogner, get your eyes back right now. Kind of sees the vacancy, window-wise, space-wise, green grass. Eyes back to the quarterback.
Oklahoma transfer to Oklahoma transfer there. As Rattler and Stogner both end up at South Carolina. That was, generally speaking, how Rattler, the ball really started rolling to get him to Columbia. They were recruiting Stogner out of the portal. Screen pass, and that timing was thrown off by the blitz. Jaden Johnson came flying through, and Marshawn Lloyd did not get his head around to see that screen pass coming from Rattler.
Yeah, well, good job. Johnson comes through because Lloyd is going to leak out. Freeze it right now. There is so much space for Lloyd to get out here. If Johnson doesn't get to the quarterback, they've got tons of people out front. That might be a 40, 50-yard gain for this offense. Really good job by Johnson. Speed to Spencer Rattler. And Arkansas has everybody on defense 6 or 7 yards from the ball.
Play clock at 2, down to 1. They have to call timeout. And that's a costly one. Back here in Fayetteville, where Sam Pittman was mic'd up pregame for College Game Day. Here's a slice.
So you can't score twice in a drive anymore? Because when I played, I had 2 drives, scored 5 touchdowns. Yeah. Younger generation, they know what I have in my ears right now. I have no idea. That a baby, that a baby, that a baby. Hey, I can say whatever I want.
Yes, sir.
There wasn't no internet, wasn't no film, wasn't nothing.
No.
Who picked the Hogs? Anybody pick the Hogs?
He's a fun guy to talk to.
He's the best, man.
Certainly paid his dues. An SEC assistant coach at 3 different schools. And an opportunity to take over here at Arkansas. 9-win season last year. And a win over a ranked Cincinnati team on opening day. And a 2-score lead on South Carolina to this point. Spencer Rattler after the timeout. Sprint out to the edge, another drop. This one from Jaheim Bell. So now it will be 3rd down and 10.
Good job by South Carolina trying to move the pocket. Make sure you're staying away from the pressure. The past couple times in this situation, Arkansas has decided to all-out blitz this South Carolina offense. If you're Spencer Rattler, you got to have an answer versus pressure. If they play zone, it's usually work in the middle of the field that's been an open option for you offensively.
4-man rush, slant, caught, and getting the 1st down is Juice Wells. The catch and run for 16 on 3rd down and 10.
Good job by Juice Wells, making sure that he sat down in that little vacated space and ball came out. I still say you can run the ball to the field if you're South Carolina. That's where your numbers are.
Right up the middle goes Lloyd. 2 yards. Zach Williams, first there for Arkansas.
They got something going a little bit when they take their trip set, their 3 receivers, and they put them into the boundary. It's really forcing some communication issues for Arkansas, and it's kind of creating some voids.
Rattler steps up in the pocket. The ball is stripped out from behind, and Rattler gets it back. Hit, he lost it, covered up. South Carolina will hold on as Drew Sanders got the strip sack. Rattler on the carom found the ball again and lost it again. And it looks like Vershawn Lee was able to get ultimately the recovery.
Look at this play by Sanders. Oh my goodness. I mean, he is he's behind the quarterback. He's doing everything he can to bend his body. I actually think he hits that ball with his right hand as he's falling down. Incredible athletic play.
After all was said and done, a loss of 4. 3rd down and 12. It'll be 3rd down and 17.
52 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
It's another 5 yards you would think might be attributed to the crowd. You can see Shane Beamer telling his offense to settle down.
This place is absolutely electric right now in Fayetteville.
Four-man rush. Rattler fires one over the middle. He's got a wide open receiver on 3rd down and 17. Juice Wells to the end zone for a touchdown. From electric to silent here in Fayetteville with that South Carolina score. What a momentum swing. South Carolina right back in it, down by 5.
Incredible job on 3rd and long. The offensive line gives protection. Wells, a little bit of a bobble double catch, and then the ability to make sure I got to get into the end zone. A huge turn of events. 3rd and long, backed up. Number 3 with the big play. Gamecocks not going away.
Two for 2 for 78 yards and a touchdown on 3rd downs on that last drive. And Dan, he hadn't hit one before that last drive, but 3rd and 17 to the house.
There's been some big plays that they've missed. We talked about it right before that play. Attacked the middle of the field. He did an awesome job ripping that ball to Wells.
Fair catch made by Harper Cole. It's a wild football Saturday. Arkansas and South Carolina have joined it, Matt Barry.
They sure have, Bob Wasuza. We've got developing situations all over the country, including Georgia State back in it against North Carolina over on ESPNU. That one 21-10 in the 3rd quarter. Miami started to separate. Sam Hartman and his return continues to look good. But I want to update you on a score as you take a look at what's going on around the country. Texas has grabbed the lead from Alabama. 13-10 midway through the 3rd quarter. So much going on, Bob and Dan, in this noon window on a college football Saturday.
College football never disappoints. You can just lean on that. There's something every week. Here's Sanders on 1st down. He's got to land. He's down the sideline. Turning on the Jets. Rocket Sanders. Shaking off tacklers. Rumbling inside the 30. And just like that, the Razorback crowd back in it. 46 yards.
Beautiful patience. Watch this. Step in. Now bounce out as the safety comes down. Great blocking on the perimeter by Thompson. Beautiful vision by Sanders.
He's got it again. And this time just getting a push for about 4.
I think that's the thing that I've been most impressed with Sanders today. The physical is there, but the vision and the patience that he marries with their offensive lines blocking and allowing those guys to really push those double teams has been very impressive to watch.
Here's Jaden Hazelwood. The wide receiver takes a handoff from Jefferson. And he's about 2.5 yards shy of a first down. A lot of injury news in this game, Chris Button.
And another one to outside linebacker Jordan Strong. He's in the locker room right now dealing with a right knee injury, but he found his family in the stands. They were crying together. His family went into the locker room, so it does not look good right now.
That's the third starter as well that South Carolina has seen leave on defense. A big third down here. Jefferson, swing pass. Sanders, dodging tacklers. Gang tackle, and it takes 3 to get him down. Now it's 4th down and about a yard just inside the 20-yard line. Brad Johnson was there first, and now a one-score game. Dan, you going for it if you're Sam Pittman?
Yeah, absolutely. Our offensive line, if you're Arkansas, has completely controlled this football game. Quarterback sneak to the left.
There's the quarterback sneak. There's the push. It's close. Let's see where they spot it. He needed to get inside the 19-yard line for the first down. And it is right at the line to gain.
Again, really good initial push by South Carolina, but Jefferson does with Sanders, keeps his legs going, push. That pile is kind of what stops him from being able to drive his legs. I don't know. I guess it all comes down to what the spot is going to be from that official where you saw the ball.
He is short. A takeaway on downs by the South Carolina defense. The Gamecocks have the football back at their own 19-yard line, down by 5.
It's a big-time stop by South Carolina's defense off to the big run by Rocket Sanders. I still think that there's a easy first down to be gained by KJ Jefferson. You know, they've done that quarterback sneak a little bit today, and the center has just been hit a couple times, just drifting to his left. I thought he would have been able to make it.
Rattler, empty backfield. This time a 5-man rush. Pocket collapsing. He bounces around and hoists one to the sideline to throw it away. Threw it up over the head of Juju McDowell. 2nd down and 10. Play clock down to 8. Tough to communicate for Spencer Rattler. They'll hand it off to McDowell. Close to 4. This is 3rd down and a long 6 after the stop on downs by the South Carolina defense.
Last to 3rd down, the long touchdown pass to Wells. It was a 3-deep zone, bunch of guys underneath, and the window was huge chunk. I expect Arkansas to play man coverage and force a tight contested throw. Look, no one in the middle of the field right now. All-out pressure potentially up. You got to find your matchup, make sure the ball gets out. Give your guy a chance if you're Spencer Rattler.
4-man rush. The heat is on. Bumper pool. In the backfield. And he gets the sack. The super senior trips up Rattler. It's a 3-and-out after the turnover on downs.
Watch bumper pull here. You're going to see inside here and then the wraparound. Watch the internal pressure by that defensive end. Bumper pull comes off right there. Awesome job of hugging that tackle. Super tight. And just making sure that he wraps those ankles of Spencer Rattler's. What a beautiful job by the senior. Coming off that inside stunt, that hug to make sure you get lost. And then making sure he comes down on the ground.
Kroger with a wobbly kick. Bryce Stevens fields it in plus territory and gets wrapped up right there. But it will be a drive beginning on the plus side of the 50 for Arkansas. How many different momentum swings have we had? Time for our Aflac trivia question. This is a good one. Which two current SEC head coaches were never a defensive coordinator or an offensive coordinator prior to becoming a head coach? Ooh. We'll have the answer coming up. And while we were giving you the Aflac trivia question, a flag had dropped down, and Arkansas was called for a hold on the return. So this will put them back to their own 42-yard line. Still good field position. They'll actually put it at the Arkansas 41. Boy, from a 3rd and 17 touchdown for South Carolina to Arkansas driving it right back down the field, to South Carolina getting a stop on downs, to then a bumper pool sack as part of a 3-and-out to get the crowd back in it. The momentum has swung back and forth in this third quarter.
And it's going to be who can kind of capitalize it if you're Arkansas and who can weather it a little bit if you're South Carolina.
Sanders gets a drive started with a gain of 4. This is the best starting field position of the day for either team. Sanders again. He's got about 5 more yards. Looks like he's just shy of a first down, but that should put him up to 137 yards rushing on the day. His 3rd career 100-yard game. And he's got the first down.
It's going to be interesting to watch Kendall Briles. As you can see, Sanders' big game last week and then obviously today. These safeties for South Carolina are starting to get nosier and nosier. When are you going to take your shot down the field and play action?
Again, it's Sanders. Again to the sideline. Inside the 20. Cuts it back at the 10. Down to the 1. 46-yard rumble for Rocket Sanders. But there's a flag down back at the South Carolina 30-yard line upfield.
Holding, number 84 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay first down.
Just watch right here. That's Warren Thompson right there. And see that little tug right there with that left arm? Watch the little tug with the left arm coming right. Now watch his left arm. That tug right there on 25 is exactly the flag that the officiating crew is calling.
So because it was a spot foul, wipe away the 46-yard gain, but it's a 1-yard gain.
You know, I always like.
It'll be 1st and 9.
Is that defender gonna? I felt like Sanders is 7-8 yards past him. You know,
You're right. It looked like that was O'Donnell Fortune, and
right?
It certainly looked like Rocket Sanders had the sideline, and Fortune was not going to factor into that play. Keeper Jefferson cruises to the sideline. About a yard shy of the first down, so he picked up 8. It'll be 2nd down and 1.
I mean, Thompson and Fortune are going at it on the perimeter right now for Arkansas and South Carolina. Thompson had the flag called on him. Fortune could have had one get called right there. They both got to be really smart and not hurting their football team.
A.J. Green, Submarines for the first down. MJ Webb made the stop. But it's another Razorback first down.
It's one of those situations where we talked about Dalton Wagner, their right tackle, talking about the love-hate relationship of the tempo and how tired you're going to get. Can you take advantage of that if you're Arkansas right now? Because you're a little bit in control. You just had your huge chunk run.
Green, caught from behind. Falls forward for a gain of a couple. Tyreek Johnson made the stop. Remember, Arkansas scored on their first 3 possessions, all double-digit play drives. They own the line of scrimmage. There's a little button hook thrown by KJ Jefferson, caught by Ketron Jackson, about a yard shy of the first down. It's 3rd down and 1. But how about the response from South Carolina's defense? Kendall Briles' team hasn't quite owned the line of scrimmage the way they did in the first 3 drives.
Yeah, and that's Clayton White, the defensive coordinator for Carolina on the right. And he's done a really nice adjustment of making sure that their run game hasn't popped too much outside of that penalty run.
3rd and 1, and that's a first down carry for Dubinion.
See how they're just kind of wearing them down? It's 2nd and 6, it's 3rd and 2, and they're just kind of wearing you down. And at some point, Kendall Briles is going to be, we got him. This is where we can get the reverse or that play action shot with bad eyes.
10th play of the drive. Jefferson straight back to throw. Finds a crosser. It is Hazelwood. Breaks a tackle. Muscles his way into the red zone.
Good job by Hazelwood. Such great ball skills and body control, but the 6'3", 215-pounder runs through its first tackle and then gets physical at the end.
Quarterback draw. Jefferson down to the 10-yard line. Picks up 4. Nicky Manworthy made the stop.
I mean, that is a big-time collision between Jefferson and Manworthy, who's 220 pounds, as a true freshman from South Carolina himself.
1st and goal, Arkansas at the 10.
Down here, Arkansas has done a really good job of kind of giving South Carolina things to look at. Motions, jet sweep, reverse, and then run right at them.
And now Rocket Sanders back in the game as Hazelwood goes in motion. A quarterback keeper for Jefferson to the 5. Looking for the pylon. Out of bounds. Just shy of the goal line. At the 1.
Nice job. Watch him come right into your screen. Pull by Hazelwood, pull by your backside tight end. Backs, and then Jefferson getting so close to that pylon, trying to reach that ball out. Really good wrinkle by Kendall Briles.
2nd down and goal. Met in the backfield is Sanders. Jordan Birch was on Sanders just about at the quarterback running back exchange.
I think Arkansas goes into the 4th quarter now. Yep.
So that will indeed take us down to the end of the 3rd quarter. 3rd down and goal after a loss of 1.5 yards. So the ball almost back to the 3-yard line. For 3rd and goal for Arkansas. When we come back to open up the 4th quarter, it has been a physical game. Exactly the kind of football that you would expect at an SEC opener. Welcome back to the SEC on ESPN. Perfect day for football here in Fayetteville. As we head to the 4th quarter, with Arkansas knocking on the door to try and extend their lead. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, and Chris Budden. 3rd down and goal. Straight quarterback run. Jefferson at the goal line. Extra effort. He's in. That's a touchdown for the Razorbacks.
Just straight quarterback run. Yep, ball crosses that goal line right there. The big 240-plus pound quarterback follows his big right guard, Bo Limmer. It's a 15-play drive.
14. And a statement at that. That's the 4th touchdown drive of the day. And all 4 drives, at least 12 plays. That one the longest of the day. 14 for Arkansas. Let's go back to Matt.
Wouldn't you guys know it? Mac Brown and North Carolina got themselves in a game again. Here, Darren Granger, great run out of the pocket, touchdown. They go for 2. Georgia State takes 28-21 lead. Ensuing possession, true freshman Omarion Hampton goes 50-plus to tie it. 28 all late 3rd quarter.
Man, North Carolina so far this season has played arena football, basically.
63-61 last week.
Just bet the over. I don't even know what it was today. And it probably will be that because they score points in bunches. Unfortunately, if you're a Tar Heel fan, their opponents seem to score a lot of points in bunches too.
How about that relationship right there, though? Kendall Browse, play caller, and KJ Jefferson. Just the maturity that they both have developed over the last 2 years together, doing whatever's necessary to try and win a game rather than I want to throw 50 times and score a bunch of points.
It's time to answer our Aflac trivia question. Which 2 current SEC head coaches were neither an offensive or a defensive coordinator prior to being named a head coach?
Well, Sam Pittman's one of them, right?
The 2 coaches in this game.
And Shane Beamer's the other one, right?
Neither an offensive or defensive coordinator at any prior assistant stop. So now, after Sam Pittman's team went down with another statement double-digit play drive for a touchdown, it's a 2-score game, but a lot of time left. Can South Carolina respond? Wide receiver screen. And they get the drive started with a gain of about 3.5 and a big collision. Catch made by Juice Wells.
It doesn't have to become a throw fest for South Carolina, though. There's still 14-plus minutes on this clock. You don't have to sit back and throw it and let Arkansas know here comes pass. See how light this is called the light box. There's 4 defenders in the box. That's really where you should run your counter, your punch game, where you pull someone and create double teams.
Only a 3-man rush. Rattler off to Lloyd. Lost the football on the sideline. It's recovered by the Razorbacks. Marshawn Lloyd coughed it up. It ends up in the arms of Hudson Clark. And Arkansas's got a huge takeaway.
Watch bumper pull and Breeny. Watch 10 and 7. Vice helmet on the ball by Breeny, the Georgia transfer. And then Hudson Clark, the outside corner, pops right on the ball. Look at the Vice. Bang right there. And then you see that shoulder drop by Breeny, who's in place for Catalan, the All-American. You know, Breeny's such a great story. Transfers over from Georgia. Even told his defensive coordinator, Barry Odom, head coach Sam Pittman, I really get tested last year at Georgia. They were so good in their front 7. Opportunity to play, and there's the perfect example of taking advantage of it.
I know it's not really necessarily in the Arkansas DNA, but play callers off of sudden change like to take shots.
I would not hear.
Is this a shot play for you?
No. This offensive line has earned the right to try to wear out this South Carolina defense.
And they'll go to the ground. A little counter handoff toss to Hazelwood, and he gets to the sideline. Another big collision. Crowd loves it as he picks up 6.
Hazelwood got a little edge to him. Watch this right here. That's the second time we've seen from him today that.
Sanders. About a yard shy of the first down. Well, that turnover by Lloyd, so costly.
Look at Sanders, run it again, run it again.
When you're going up against a team that can own the line of scrimmage, can chew up the clock, physically can go on double-digit play drives, you have such a small margin for error when you're down 2 scores in the fourth quarter. Sanders, that was an odd exchange. It looked like Jefferson may have decided very late to give it to him or possibly pull it. Sanders held onto the football, got the first down.
Bob, I can't be more impressed with number 5 today. Look at this. A little bit in between him, giving her opponent the awareness to pull it, and then shakes off Pickens, and then he's so strong. I mean, this young man has been everything advertised today. Big, physical, tough, great vision, strong, athletic. There's Lloyd, a just costly fumble for his offense as he was trying to go make a play.
An end around. Matt Landers gets a block. To the 23-yard line, picked up 6. Brad Johnson forced him out.
I mean, think about it in this context. This is going to be the 75th play that Arkansas has run. There is 12 and a half minutes left in this game. South Carolina's run 42. 30 more plays on the field defensively.
And 54 runs. Here's a throw, though, for Jefferson. He's going to take a shot at the end zone. Warren Thompson for the touchdown.
You're going to take this receiver and cross him this way, and it's going to be a switch release as Jefferson drifts. There's that switch release, now freeze it. You're going to have this guy cross face, that safety goes, and that's going to leave the vacancy in the middle of the field. Bob, we were talking about it. You've run the ball, you've run the ball, you've run the ball. And now how disciplined can you be if you're South Carolina defensively as your wheel is getting broken? Kendall Browse dials it up at the perfect time. And it's a beautiful throw from Jefferson to Thompson.
It was something you noticed on tape. The safeties at times for South Carolina can get nosy.
Yeah.
You asked Kendall Browse yesterday. At some point you have to take a shot, right? He said absolutely. We just saw it.
I love the fact that they create the turnover on defense. Breeny and Poole. And then turnovers only matter if you capitalize off them. Jefferson, Thompson, Arkansas matches 35-16 at home.
KJ Jefferson with the deep shot to Warren Thompson. The Florida State transfer hauls in the touchdown. And KJ Jefferson again, dual threat, doing what he does. Through the air, on the ground, a touchdown either way after a 4-touchdown opening day win last week against Cincinnati. And now a commanding 35-16 lead. Xavier Legette's going to run it out from 5 yards deep. And it's forced out of bounds just shy of the 30-yard line as we take a look at this week's college football rankings. Brought to you by Goodyear. And Alabama in trouble, down by 6 at Texas. So number 1 on the ropes. Notre Dame and Marshall just underway, and Ohio State has finally pulled away from Arkansas State.
Just saw that Alabama has 15 penalties today, which would be the most they've had under Nick Saban as their head coach.
Still about 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of that game. So now Spencer Rattler needs yards and chunks as time is a big factor, down 35-16. Out of the pocket. And he'll just throw it to the sideline. Juju McDowell, the intended receiver. Once again, pressure came from Drew Sanders and others on Rattler.
I don't love the plan in that situation for South Carolina offensively. Just when they get into the empty set, no one in the backfield, 5 people protecting, they've either gotten soft zone from Arkansas or all-out pressure. It was obvious all-out pressure. In those moments, you got to take your shot downfield one-on-one.
Another blitz off the edge. Rattler stays on his feet. He'll just chuck this one to the far sideline. And will they say Juice Wells was in the area as Latavius Brini couldn't get Rattler down?
Watch Rattler here. This is a good block by the back. Climb the pocket. Nice job by Brini under pressure. But this is a little bit what we saw last week with Spencer, kind of leaving those pockets. I just want you to climb, get inside those blocks, and allow the route concept to develop downfield.
And they did give Rattler the benefit of the doubt that Juice Wells was at least in the area. So no intentional grounding. 3rd down and 10. Another blitz. Rattler, one-on-one down the sideline, and he fits it in. Juice Wells with another big catch to keep South Carolina alive.
But that's that one-on-one. When you get those pressure situations, it's just like first down. Wells up top, a little bit of stutter go. He's one-on-one with him and Hudson Clark. That back shoulder, I love the pace of the football from Rattler, and another big 3rd down conversion. Here comes the pressure again. You got to take your shots in one-on-ones. Look at all these defenders within 6-7 yards of the ball. Pick your matchup.
Wide receiver screen. It's Wells again. And he gets out of bounds. That'll save a few seconds for South Carolina. He picks up 7. Simeon Blair made the tackle, but as soon as they spot that ball ready for play, they'll wind the clock again. So South Carolina needs to have plays called and be ready.
Here comes this boundary pressure. This guy's going to come down. That safety's going to go over. That back's got to make sure either send your offensive line or the back's got to cross and pick up pressure. That's Spencer Rattler sending the offensive line out that way.
4-man rush. Rattler floats one down the right side into the end zone. Incomplete. Flag out. Jaheim Bell ran a go route, and it looks like he has drawn pass interference. Kareed Johnson was in coverage.
It's a good job by South Carolina again.
On the defense, number 19. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
That's a tough one, I think. I don't. That's a tough PI call because I don't necessarily see much contact between him and that defensive back.
Back shoulder throw. Incomplete. Jalen Brooks thought he got a toe down. The official said no, out of bounds. Let's take a look.
I think the left foot lands out of bounds.
Good
He's
call.
also close. That's a great camera shot. He's also close of getting a little bit of an offensive pass interference push off.
That's what Dwight McLaughlin was claiming to the official closest to the play.
And I think pressure is going to come away. Here comes this blitz. Drew Sanders right here on the edge.
It's a 4-man rush. Rattler scanning the field. Floats one into the end zone. Intercepted! McLaughlin did it last week. He does it again this week. Huge takeaway in the end zone for Arkansas. The LSU transfer. Interceptions in his first 2 Arkansas games.
ESPN College Football is presented by Marathon. Get the most out of your drive.
A 9-win season for Arkansas last year, capped with the Outback Bowl on New Year's Day over Penn State. Let's go back to the interception late here for Spencer Rattler.
Yeah. All right, freeze it right now. You're going to see this. This receiver's going to inside release and bend. There's no reason for him to bail protection. Now watch that safety go. Rip that ball right now into that seam. The protection is totally fine. Talked about it a couple plays before, not trusting it. And I know it's hard. I know it is. But those are those moments where you want to see him put his back foot in the ground, safety left and went the other way. I want you to drive that ball 35 yards on a line and get that touchdown, but not trusting the protection leads to the interception.
And now the ground game goes back to work with A.J. Green. And he won't go down. Look at the push. 8 yards on first down. Let's head back to Matt Barry.
Guys, we got some entertainment in Austin, pretty much down the entire second half. Bryce Young to Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield after the scramble and throw across the body. Just like that, Alabama grabs a 1-point lead.
Oh, this is a 3-score lead here for Arkansas. And now, Dalton Wagner should get his wish and the rest of that offensive line. The love-hate relationship he's had with playing up-tempo. Now there's no reason to play up-tempo. As if you're Arkansas, you want to bleed as much clock as you possibly can. And they'll pick up the first down here with Green. Tomorrow night, the critically acclaimed series True South returns. 5th season opener for John T. Edge. He will travel to a Marble Yard, Tompkinsville, Kentucky to meet the locals, eat good food, while talking about Southern beliefs and identities. True South, tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on the SEC Network, as well as the ESPN app.
I thought we had some good food last night here.
I would say for the dining portion of that show, I wouldn't mind being a guest.
I like
you think they'd hold the fact that I'm from Jersey against me on True South?
They certainly would that I'm from Connecticut. The sausage we had last night, we saw it on the tailgate. The sausage is that what Arkansas is known for?
So good.
Barbecue and sausage?
Dominion. He picks up a couple of yards, and a guy that also enjoys good food. He told us as much. Chris is Sam Pittman.
Yeah, his team's identity runs through him. It's who he is. They play with a chip on their shoulder, and they did that the last 2 years. The problem is, with as good as they are this year and coming off a 9-win season, they're going to be favored in a lot of these games. So how do you play with a chip on your shoulder when you're the favorites? And he said, well, 1, if you're not number 1, you're always the underdog. 2, I'll find a way, which then led, well, what did you tell your team this week? He said, it's not, I don't have to tell them. Maybe it's something I showed them. And he wouldn't let up what the billboard material was until after the game.
Dominion reverses field. Nice cutback. The vision to get within 4 yards of another Arkansas first down. Zach Pickens brought him down. So now a must third down stop for South Carolina.
It was fun to hear Sam Pittman kind of say, like, I like when I look at the bottom of ESPN or the ticker tape that when I see that small number next to Arkansas, and he was like, I want it to get smaller and smaller. So I think he's really content or at peace with where the program is right now. Not complacent, but he knows he's doing a really good job of building this place.
3rd down and 4. Play clock winding down. Dominion gets another chance, and he's got nowhere to go. Eventually brought down by Jordan Birch. And before 4th down, to try and save 40 seconds here, Shane Beamer will spend South Carolina's 2nd timeout. We'll come right back. Here's what you have to guard against if you're Arkansas. Beamer ball, always dangerous against Georgia State last week. This is how they won the game, basically. 2 blocked punts, both returned for touchdowns in the second half. And when the coach has the last name Beamer, you know, Dan, there are always special teams tricks that are potentially up the sleeve. Do you have a punt block that's just your go-to here that you dial up in a 3-score game to try and flip the switch if you can?
What did he tell us? They spend 50 minutes a day practicing special teams?
They're overloading that right side and getting it away. Van watches it float out of bounds. As Max Fletcher did a good job just to get it away this season. All-State will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you to All-State.
Now you're automatically in 2-minute offense tempo if you're South Carolina. Down 19 points, 7:39 to go, only one timeout left. You've got to play at a warp speed and put yourself in that 2-minute urgency.
Rattler, long throw to the sideline, and once again his favorite target. It's been Juice Wells all day. He breaks a tackle. He breaks free. What a day it has been for Wells, down to the 10-yard line. They'll say he stepped out at the 12, it looks like. 64 yards.
Another one-on-one opportunity to the field. Little seam inside that gets Hudson Clark to drift with him. And then the strong hands and feet break away from that tackle. Breedy does an awesome job of running him down, but Hudson Clark's played a lot of football here for Arkansas. He's there in that moment, just well strong enough to break away from it.
185 yards receiving for Wells.
I'd go right back at him. I'd go right back at Hudson Clark up top.
Handoff instead to McDowell. Juju McDowell stays in at the 5-yard line with a spin move before he's finally bumped out by Drew Sanders. At the 2, it'll be 1st and goal.
No quit in South Carolina. I could appreciate that, Bob, right? These kids are playing tough. McDowell, awesome job getting the edge. Clark misses the tackle, then the spin move. No quit in this offense right now.
McDowell again, up the middle. Is he short of the goal line? No signal from the officials. And if he is, this is valuable time coming off the clock for South Carolina. It looks like it's going to be 2nd down and goal as the clock continues to roll. If you're the Gamecocks, you can't argue. You have to get right back up to the line and be ready to go.
Shot right down the line there. Just can't see where his knees are. Ball certainly went across the goal line.
The previous play is under further review. The ruling on the field was the runner was short of the goal line.
We'll step aside and get the ruling when we come back. Was Juju McDowell in the end zone? It was a quick review while we were away, and this is indeed a Juju McDowell touchdown. As from this view, you can see his knees never touched. And Dan, the end zone sideline view at least shows he broke the plane.
Yeah, beautiful camera shot from behind that offensive set right there to make sure that neither knee goes down, and then obviously it clears. South Carolina should absolutely, down 13 right now, go for 2.
And they will. Marshawn Lloyd back in the game. His fumble was a big play earlier in the half. Rattler on a rollout. They've got the 2. Amarian Brown made the catch. Now it's an 11-point game with 6:25 to go.
You do that little orbit motion in and out, and then there's pick motion. See the picks at the bottom of the screen. You run off man coverage, and you just force the trailing defender to have to run all through that traffic. Good ball placement by Spencer Rattler. Those quick strike scores are huge.
As we take a look at today's weekend wake-up, brought to you by Wendy's Breakfast, and plenty of other action in college football coming your way later today. We watched Florida with a very impressive opening win against Utah at home last week. Tonight, Kentucky comes to the Swamp. Tennessee-Pittsburgh, a very interesting game. And Saturday Night Football on ABC, USC-Stanford. Over on ESPN late night, Baylor-BYU. An interesting one as well. So lots of great college football still to come. And what you also have to think is coming here if you're Arkansas, get your hands teams ready.
Yep.
Because this has to be an onside kick.
That quarterback matchup, Kentucky-Florida, should be a good one. Anthony Richardson, Will Levis. You could see who's there for Arkansas. Rocket Sanders, Hazelwood back deep.
So Jeter has it on the tee. There's the onside kick attempt. Easily picked up. Bumper Pool is going to take off and run inside the 15 with a stiff arm. Oh, you know the senior is smelling the end zone. He ends up out of bounds at the 10. The charity hop right into the arms of Bumper Pool. You don't normally get that fun like that if you're a Mike linebacker.
Remember
right?
talking to him yesterday? He's played so long here, and I was like, you're still having fun. You still find joy, and he's the only one we're playing well. Look at the ball, it just bounced right to him. Good awareness, credit him, man. Like oftentimes those guys are told, let the ball go by you, it bounces right to him, a little stiff arm.
And a lot of times a defensive player might struggle with that hop. It might bounce right off their chest.
He's an athlete, Bobby.
He made that look easy.
I asked him yesterday, I thought he grew up playing baseball. He grew up playing baseball, right? He said, nah, man, I'm a golfer. And I thought to myself, 6'3", 235 pounds, an SEC linebacker, and you're like, no, I'm a golfer.
He probably just bunts it about 200 down the middle, right?
He could play, too. He said he's a 9.
So 1st and goal for Arkansas, only moments after South Carolina made it an 11-point game. Jefferson to the pylon, reaches the ball out. Is he short? Just. Looks like he got to the 1-yard line.
Watch as he reaches this ball out with his right hand. Ooh.
That's dangerous.
Yeah. Is he out before that ball comes falling? I don't think it went into the end zone anyway.
And if that ball crosses the goal line and gets across the pylon and it's loose in a fumble, that would be a takeaway and a touchback for South Carolina. And we've got an injured Gamecock down in the end zone as well. That's Brad Johnson.
Let me see this. I mean, this is a moment where you tell Cage, there's no need on 1st down for us to reach this ball out here.
Right.
But he's a competitor. See, I don't think that ball goes into the end zone either way, and I honestly believe before the ball's moving, that left foot is down. But really good teaching moment. See, I think that ball in his...
That's really close.
But I don't think it goes in. Do you think it crosses?
It's close, very close. The end zone look from behind the end zone that we had. The pylon cam, I guess from the back left corner of the end zone, makes it look like it might have snuck inside the pylon. And that ball is out.
It's moving,
before
certainly,
it
right? Looks
like his foot steps out of bounds. But to your point, it's wider angle lens. You're up 2 scores with 6 minutes to go. An unnecessary risk to reach the ball out and possibly fumble.
And that's why I say good teaching moment.
Yes.
You know, I can appreciate the competitor in him. He's been down there a couple times. He's their absolute unquestioned leader. But a teaching moment for him and everybody. In that moment, it is not needed for you to reach out.
The runner was down at the 1-yard line.
And they are going to go to review to make sure. The ball was spotted at the 1-yard line. Now it has to be indisputable that all elements of that play took place, right? That he hadn't stepped out of bounds, he had lost control of the football, and that it went inside the pylon out of bounds as well.
It doesn't matter. That angle that we saw where his hand was still touching the ball, right? It seems like that pointer finger is still on. That does not matter, right? Because the ball has already started to move. Doesn't matter that he's still touching it. It's the control in possession that matters.
No doubt. I mean, you have to
that angle. Yep.
You have to have complete control of the football, or it's the beginning of a fumble. Is that ball coming loose? As his foot touches out.
I think it all depends on the left leg. Like if that left foot, you know, if that left foot is out of bounds right now, before that ball moves and he loses possession, and then it still has to cross the goal line for all of that to be impactful on this play.
All of that is moot unless you rule the ball when it got loose past inside the pylon and went out in the end zone.
Yep.
So there's like 3 different elements to this play that all have to go South Carolina's way for them to get the takeaway. And it's hard to say that it's indisputable that all three of those things happened.
Right. Everything depends. It all comes down to, did the ball go in the end zone, right? Or not, crossing. It's a huge call, though. I mean, because we have seen multiple big plays opportunity-wise, and then some recently that have been made by this South Carolina offense as well. So this is a huge call.
And here is that call.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
Now there's frustration there for Shane Beamer. You can understand why. And ruling on the field stands is code for we're not quite sure.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we felt as well. It was really difficult. I can see how they're saying there's no clear evidence that that ball, one, went into the end zone, and then two, was out before his left foot stepped down.
And you could read lips. Wow. That was the reaction of Shane Beamer. And he knows that's his team's last chance, realistically, to pull off a miracle and win the football game. So he had to have that call go his way. Instead, it's going to be second down and goal from inside the 1 yard line. So after all of that, Malik Hornsby lines up as the deep back. Instead, they'll hand it off inside, and A.J. Green has the touchdown.
There's that eye candy that they've utilized so much this afternoon in Arkansas, and then really running in between those two guards, Latham and Limmer, and their center, Stromberg.
That is 5 rushing touchdowns on the day for Arkansas by 4 different players. We've got featured ESPN Plus college football games for you tonight. At 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, West Virginia hosts Kansas in Morgantown, while at 7, Central Arkansas will take on number 22 Ole Miss. Kent State, Oklahoma, also at 7 Eastern. To get ESPN Plus, go to espnplus.com or download the ESPN app. Well, Sam Pittman's team's going to start off the year with a win at home against a ranked opponent that was in the college football playoff last year. And an SEC home opening win, it looks like, barring a miracle for the Gamecocks over South Carolina. Then they've got a game against Missouri State at home, and then here we go. At Texas A&M, home Alabama, as the meat of the SEC schedule arrives. But as physical as this team is, no one's going to want to see them.
I said it today. I think on both sides of the line of scrimmage, because I was asked who's the 3rd best team in the SEC, us coming off Florida. Arkansas is going to have a chance just because of their identity. Their quarterback's awesome, and we saw this young man be phenomenal today with vision in the hole, following this offensive line that creates great duos, so many cutbacks behind that big unit. I mean, he's 6'2", 230 pounds. And then he's got a little bit of that speed, that he's got the ability to run away from people.
He's got to be the biggest player in history to ever have the nickname Rocket.
When I first saw it, I was like, he's going to be 5'9", 170 pounds, and that's some good names to have your name next to in Darren McFadden and Felix Jones.
Screen to Lloyd. The pads pop as he picks up 6. And again, no timeouts left for South Carolina. So Arkansas very content to just make tackles in the field of play.
You know what I'm saying, though, about Arkansas? Like, I was impressed with Florida last week, but I don't believe that they're good enough on the perimeter to really go chase down in the SEC. We'll see, obviously, what happens with Alabama and Texas in the final waning moments of their game. But I would say this, the two things that I think are question marks about Arkansas right now after watching last week's game and then today. Are they going to be good enough on the perimeter when someone can hold their run game down just a little bit to make some plays in the air? And they got to figure out how the ball or stop the ball from going over their head so much, because it's shown twice in their first 2 weeks.
Rattler comes up about 3 yards shy of a first down, tripped up by Isaiah Nichols.
There's only so much that you can only bank on the other offense missing those shots so often until somebody hits them all against you.
You play against A&M and Alabama, LSU and Auburn. And all of those teams at some point has a take the top off of a defense wide
Special
receiver
players, yeah,
that can run past you.
And their quarterbacks just aren't going to miss them. You know, Spencer Rattler, for South Carolina fans, hopefully he starts to hit them as he gets more comfortable in his first year, second game in this system. But those quarterbacks for A&M and Bama, they're going to hit them.
Rattler, bobbled ball, almost picked off and almost caught by Wells on the carom as Hudson Clark jumped the route.
A little bit of one-on-one. Wells up at the top, trying to burst, kind of a drift back to the sideline. Hudson Clark playing with vision to the quarterback. Almost gets his hands on one. Those two guys have battled all afternoon. Wells has had a tremendous game performance-wise, 190 yards receiving on 8 catches.
Rattler to McDowell, laid out. Flag down in the offensive backfield as well. Big hit by Chris Paul on Juju McDowell, but we've got a penalty marker throw.
I think we're going to get him hands to the face again by Arkansas.
Personal foul, hands to the face on the defense. Number 14, 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
That's the Georgia Tech transfer, Jordan Dominic.
I think Dominic's a big part of their defense too. You know, asking Barry Odom and Sam Pittman, like, hey, how are you guys better this year? And they kind of pointed out those individual pass rushers, they're deeper, they've got more of them, and they're better individually. You know, and then you add in a guy like Drew Sanders, who is such a good pressure guy. That's big for their, when it get into the SEC schedule.
McDowell wide open. Now South Carolina just beat the blitz. He's down inside the 15-yard line to about the 14. Again, no timeouts left for South Carolina. Gain of 21. So they'll get right up to the line and get set to snap it as the clock starts to roll again. Coming up on 4 minutes to go. Rattler. Stogner. Stood up before he got to the end zone. Down to the 1.
You can see Shane Beamer, more pace, more tempo. Every single second matters, and they are continuing to keep their foot down.
They're going to try and run it with McDowell. Second effort, looking for his second touchdown. Is he short? They say he is. And that will cost them time.
Does he get in here? No, he's short. That clock's running, though.
The ball inches away from the goal line. Hand off to Jaheim Bell, and he's got the touchdown. So Bell gets in. That took the clock, though, all the way down inside of 3.5 minutes to go.
Just a little reverse handout to Bell. He's absolutely in. That ball comes out late from Sanders, but good fight by this South Carolina offense. Looks like you've had a good afternoon.
Maybe too good. They're going to line up to go for 2 to try and make this a 10-point game. Not sure if you need to go for 2 yet here. Rifle shot back of the end zone, no. So now the lead remains 12. And the difference between an 11-point game and a 12-point game is big. So going for 2 there to try and cut it from 12 to 10. doesn't make nearly as much sense as when they went for 2 after they took it from 19 down earlier. But
I guess the only theory is you're down 3 scores with 4 minutes to go in the game. So you go for 2 there, that if you somehow pull off the miracle, instead of just trying to tie the football game late, you have the opportunity to go win it with another 2-point conversion, right? And you get out of here stealing one.
Boy, that's really thinking forward.
That would be the only justified explanation.
How are we going to win this in regulation?
Yeah.
That's why you're going for 2 there?
Yeah.
I would have thought.
That would be the only reason I could think of.
Yeah, I would have thought you're going for 2 there. Everything I would think at that point would be geared towards how do we keep this game alive and give our players a belief we've got a chance to get it to overtime. And now they know that a touchdown and a 2 and a field goal isn't even enough. Down by 12. So they just took a field goal as one of their next 2 scores off the board.
Down 2 scores, right.
Now they'll line up for another onside kick. Bumper Pool getting greedy again? Oh, he's not going to take off this time. He's just going to turn turtle and make sure he holds on to it, but smoothly handles another onside kick recovery.
Just back-to-back onside kicks that just haven't, for Jeter, bounced certainly the way that they were expecting, kicked both times to that initial up man. Now it's just paramount if you're Arkansas. Stressing, hold on to the football, carry it with 2 hands. South Carolina defensively is going to be punching at the ball, holding up guys to see if they can force that turnover. So really focusing on handoff and ball security.
Quarterback keeper. Jefferson lays down just to make sure the clock will roll.
You can see Shane Beamer right there. Get that ball out, get that ball out. Smart by KJ Jefferson going down to the ground. But you are going to get moments where these defenders for South Carolina are going to try to hold up the ball carrier and punch as they're going down.
And maybe that teachable moment of reaching the ball out at the end of the last drive already being learned by Jefferson. Sure. The only thing here where you can really hurt yourself is to cough the ball up. DeBinion brought down after a gain of a couple. So Arkansas with that game against Missouri State, and then back-to-back games against top 10 teams, Texas A&M and Alabama.
The nice thing is getting them at home, right? For at least if you're Arkansas.
And they're a fun team to watch, I think, because of so much strategy that you could talk about with how they attack the game because of how physical they are.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I said you got to put them in the conversation for that 3rd best SEC team, because they're unapologetic about their identity. They've played a bunch of football together. Their offensive line's got over 100 games started together. KJ Jefferson, it means 240 plus pounds. And we put up that graphic to start the game. That's 460 plus pounds at tailback and quarterback. And so when they have the opportunity to continue to control the line of scrimmage, that's the big deal of being unapologetic of this is who we are and you're going to have to stop it.
And 3rd down, DeBinion goes nowhere. So it'll be a punt for Arkansas, but they can take the clock down well inside of 2 minutes before kicking it away in a 12-point game.
So they get Missouri State here next week, and then they have to go to Texas A&M last weekend of September.
Now the offense staying on the field for Arkansas. I would think just a pooch punt here, unless it's just a hard count. To take the clock all the way down in a delay of game.
Yep.
And there is the delay of game, or a timeout, called by Arkansas. So here's what South Carolina still has on the horizon. And talk about it not getting any easier for Shane Beamer's team. After a road test here, back at home to take on Georgia on September 17th.
This has been a physical game, too. I mean, this has been a very, I guess every game in this conference is. It's a good football team, though. You know, their offensive line played better today than it did last week. Their defense, you know, it's a tough matchup to just match the physicality that we've talked about with Arkansas, but their defense has done a pretty good job, at least not giving up much in the pass game. They weren't threatened much. It's just a tough matchup. Arkansas is probably 2 years ahead of where South Carolina and Shane Beamer are hoping to get to.
So again, the freshman Max Fletcher. And his only job here is just kick the ball past the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you got it done. Although it doesn't look like they're coming after him. They're going to make it easy for him. And he'll send a wobbly kick down to Van. Fair catch at the 10-yard line. So South Carolina down by 12 with 1:39 to go in the fourth quarter. And we flash back all the way to November of 2011, the last time that Arkansas got a win against South Carolina. Arkansas led by 2, finished off South Carolina with a pair of touchdowns, 44-28. And of course that feeds into the job that Sam Pittman had when he took this program over. He won 9 games last year. They'd only won 8 games in the 3 years prior to his arrival. And this wobbly one from Rattler comes out sideways, and Bumper Poole gave it a dive. 1:33 to go.
Stay in the air ball, stay in the air ball. I'd like to see that player still having fun playing college football, man. He had even wavered coming back. Does he go? Does he stay? Does he go?
It's going to be a safety.
The foul occurred in the end zone, results in a safety.
Did that ball just slip out of Rattler's hands?
Yeah, they're going to call that intentional grounding, and because he was in the end zone when he grounded the ball, it becomes a safety.
See, I thought that ball got tipped, Bob, and that's why it fluttered in the air. Yeah.
It slipped off his hand, but it didn't get tipped. Now, where you could give him the benefit of the doubt is you could call Marshawn Lloyd in the area,
right,
and he's trying to throw it over his head and throw it out of bounds. And because he's trying to throw it out of bounds, which is normally that's allowed for a quarterback, it looked like intentional grounding because the ball slipped and came out sideways.
I'm going to be honest, that's an awful call in my opinion. I mean, he's trying to get the ball and throw it as clear out of bounds as he can in the direction of a back that is leaking out and getting hit by the defense as he's leaking out. The ball slips out of his hands, man.
And you're saying you're grounding when you are trying also to avoid a sack that is imminent.
See how he's getting held up there, right? And now he's trying to just waste that ball over the backs. That's
right.
Not a defensive penalty of holding or anything. That's not what I'm implying. What I'm saying is the back is getting met right there, and he's under duress, and he's just trying to throw that ball clearly out of bounds over his head. I mean, it doesn't have an impact on the football game.
Correct.
At the end, in the end result. But as far as making the proper call, that's not intentional grounding.
Well, the explanation certainly didn't satisfy Shane Beamer, but safety was called. It is a judgment call. It's not something that can be reviewed. And so now his team will be forced to kick it from the 20-yard line, and of course they'll try Still down by 2 scores, another onside kick with 1:33 to go.
Don't kick it to number 10.
The guy's a vacuum.
Yeah, too much of a playmaker.
So Mitch Jeter has it on the tee again. One more opportunity for an onside kick. And this one is touched. It is loose, and it looks like South Carolina has it. Arkansas jumped up and touched the ball before it went 10 yards, but that made it live, and that allowed for a South Carolina recovery.
I think it hit Rocket Sanders. Watch on that 30-yard line. Rocket Sanders right there is going to stick his hands out.
That's Debo Williams that recovered it.
Maybe those 2 points will matter. I mean, if you're, this is, hey, I'm throwing a couple balls deep. You know, I'm just trying to get 30, 40-yard chunks here.
You have to score, give yourself time for another onside kick and score again. So the first of these 2 scores can't take a minute and 15 seconds. All right, you have to leave yourself some time on the back end. Arkansas brings a blitz. Rattler. There's a crosser. Bouncing off tacklers is Jalen Brooks. And he picks up a first down, so that stops the clock at least for a moment.
Now this is where that extra point comes in a little bit, Bob, because another 20, 30 yards, you would have the opportunity to kick a field goal.
Now you'd still need 2 scores, though. And there is again a tackle inbounds on Stogner. That is just fine if you're Arkansas's bumper pool. Forces the clock to continue to wind down.
Yeah, the ball's got to go down the field right now. You cannot think 10, 12-yard completions.
Only a 3-man rush. Plenty of time for Rattler, but again, it's underneath to Stogner. Stogner stays in bounds. Well, he stops the clock at least for the moment because of the first down, but again, when they set the ball ready for play, they will wind the clock. I'm not sure the extra 4 or 5 yards he picked up there wasn't worth getting out of bounds. Rattler on the run. Marshawn Lloyd stepped out at the 43 of the Razorbacks. 37 seconds to go.
You know what I'm saying, though, is if they had kicked that extra point before, they'd be down potentially 11. That's, you get 10 more yards, you kick a field goal, and then you throw Hail Mary potential on an onside. I mean, I would think just Xavier Legette, number 17, is 6'3". He's Hudson Clark one-on-one up top. And just throw a deep ball, see if they can out-jump him.
Rattler. This time the pocket collapses and he goes down. And that should just about do it. A sack all the way back to the 49-yard line. And now all those South Carolina receivers that are all the way down in the end zone have to run all the way back and get set. And the clock winds down. Chris Paul got the sack. Rattler. He's going to go down again, and that'll do it. The ball pops out. It's picked up, and heading to the end zone is Chris Paul. Is that an icing on the cake? Touchdown for the Razorbacks. Either way, it just affects the final score. 0's on the clock, and Arkansas will win this SEC opener against South Carolina. That ball is definitely out. Although Paul's knee might have been down when he scooped the ball up, nonetheless, this is now just bookkeeping. as Arkansas will win an impressive SEC opener.
I think you're right, Bob. That right knee right down. Right there. That right knee is down. Does Arkansas have to run one dead ball play?
If there was time on the clock
Right.
when Paul had his knee down on the recovery, I mean, again, this is now just bookkeeping. But for the officials, I think it's time to make a decision. The game's over one way or the other. It's just a question of what the final score is now going to be. And now we're going to have a conversation with Sam Pittman. Your guess is as good as mine as to what is taking so long for the
dinner
officials
plans, guys?
to just make a decision and end the game.
After further review, when the defensive player picked up the ball, his knee was on the ground at the 44-yard line. Please replay the game, reset the game clock to 6 seconds, 0-6.
So now we will have the formality of Arkansas coming out, going to victory formation and taking one last snap before 44-30 is your final.
I don't know. I'm super impressed with Arkansas. I just really am. Like I said, those two things get cleaned up. Ability to push the ball to the perimeter, and then they got to keep the ball in front of them better on defense, but they're really good across the line of scrimmage.
And they have a very clear identity, right?
Yeah.
They know exactly who they are, how they want to play. It's a reflection of their head coach.
They're not going to try to trick you.
No.
And I listen, South Carolina, I'll give them a ton of credit, man. They came into a good environment. They played really hard, never quit.
And now Jefferson makes it official. So the final score is 44-30. Arkansas wins it over South Carolina. For Dan Orlovsky and Chris Button, I'm Bob Wischusen. So long from Fayetteville. Stand by. It's Matt Barry and company back in the studio.
ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the Southeastern Conference.